The date is the 9th of Lavion, year of our kingdom 998. The weather is perfect for sailing by sky or by sea. And the situation, we're heading back to salvage on the ephemeral chaos after a day in Regalport. Willow's party was a huge success. Or I suppose I should say Willow's ship's the party to rename the ephemeral chaos was a huge success. It reached the point where the two were somewhat intertwined. That sort of seems appropriate, though. At least I think so. To celebrate a ship is to celebrate the one who designed it and built it and stole all the parts for it and, of course, named it. I think there were as many people celebrating just because they were happy to be invited as there were who knew the reasons we were celebrating. But that's nice, isn't it? That's what salvage is. Where was I? Oh, the party. It was a success in so many ways. It's actually hard to figure out where to begin. I suppose chronologically is the way that I should... Oh, right. Chronologically is the best way to go. We all took part in the renaming ceremony. From what I understand, we had to formally change the name of the ship so that the Devourer would not sink us when it saw a stranger sailing its waters. Once the formalities were tended to, and the Devourer was properly introduced to the chaos, we were able to kick back and enjoy the excitement of the evening. Good food, dancing, singing, even some small games to entertain those young and young at heart. The High Prince himself. Even he enjoyed a game or two. In fact, I was one of the few lucky enough to arm wrestle him, and let me tell you, he's got muscles hiding under there.
You have to say it like that.
No, he does not.
Did that muscle make Ryger any good at ring toss? Not really.
Wow, petty.
And to add to the blending of the naming ceremony and Willow's birthday, Bruno Saltbeard and the dock workers put together a cart's worth of supplies for Willow and the Chaos. Things that every boat needs to keep it sailing smoothly, and a large cooler box to keep us well fed while we travel. Willow appreciated the gesture. That much was clear. I saw their tail wagging so fast, I thought it was going to blow their jacket off.
Yes, I was very grateful. And I seem to recall you sharing the dance floor with Miss Jaylee. What was that like?
That's funny, because from what I recall, that was your idea. You were there for half of it. You tell me.
Not now. Luca's talking. How rude. Pardon me. As you were.
Well, after things began to wind down, the secret fun of the evening began. High Prince Ryger boarded the ephemeral chaos, and we, along with Captain Varys, set off for Regalport. Anne and I assisted in the sailing of the boat while Willow spoke to the High Prince about... They spoke about taking power from Lyranda. What it came down to was the High Prince wanting to make special new boats, I think.
Would you like me to explain it?
Oh, yes, please. Just let me get my pen. Okay, yeah, please.
Okay. Well, currently, House Lyranda has a monopoly on all elemental vehicles, meaning elemental galleons, airships, and all related intellectual property. Previously, the only elemental vehicles were those operated by, or stolen from, House Lyranda, and these vessels rely on pilots bearing the mark of the storm. But High Prince Ryger has plans to build his own elemental vehicles without Lyranda knowing about it. Industrial espionage. When successful, Lazar will have been responsible for wresting control of the industry from House Lyranda. This, of course, raises numerous concerns about Ryger's motives, his contingencies, how he plans to handle backlash and protect his allies and territory, but he's reasoned out his options rather well. Which is part of where his interest in me arises. You see, I worked aboard 2 of the only non-Lyranda airships during my time with the Wind Whisperers, and considering his goals, he suspected that I may be useful. Though even his keen eyes were not prepared for what he saw below deck.
I did hear quite the cacophony from down there. Banging, shouting, the whole 9 yards.
Oh, so you heard Ryger say fuck?
Ryger said fuck?
Fucking, to be specific. And damn, too, for good measure.
Wow, I take it you got a good reaction out of him then.
Oh, yeah. He challenged me to prove my worth. He was going to use me as a bargaining chip otherwise, and so I answered. I turned around and kicked the door open to reveal the state-of-the-art elemental engine hiding behind my workshop bench. And High Prince Raiga Irwanan, in his infinite wisdom, had no choice but to cooperate with me.
Is that why we're not walking the plank of the Dragon Eye right now? From what I could eavesdrop of your private little conversation, seems you two struck quite the deal.
Oh, so is that why Captain Varys is going to be traveling with us as part of this deal?
Exactly. Raiga has smartly decided that Varys is more useful aboard the ephemeral chaos to study. And so, in exchange for keeping my identity secret, we have been assigned a helmsman by the High Prince himself. And Varys Greenleaf will be embarking on a very special mission to change the future of Corvair. Again.
I don't imagine that's a choice Rhaegar made lightly, but I guess the best way to learn is on the job.
Perhaps you could teach him a thing or two about speaking to the elementals, since you appear to be so good at it.
I suppose I am the one who made it go at that pivotal moment.
Much appreciated. You should have seen his face. But that's enough about me and old Roger. You both spoke to him as well, yes?
Oh, we had an aside of sorts. He recognized me as Audrey's alternative face, so we got to chatting about the auction incident. From what I understand, Mr. High Prince has deemed me such a valuable informant, he's going to get me in contact with one of Baron Elar's shadows. Might not be Thorani's top dog, but it's damn close. What about you, Luca? Notice you linger on the beach with him. He spill any secrets to you?
You know, how handsome and strong we both are. What fine captains we've both made. I made him laugh because I'm terribly funny. He said it was an honor to attend such a fine naming ceremony. You know.
Wow. Flattered.
But you know what Rhaegar didn't do? Get Willow enough rubies to start a fire, among various other gifts worthy of the Spellbreaker's birthday.
Well, one might say his presence is present enough.
You would say that.
I did.
You're very fortunate it paid off.
I am.
Yes. So now that we're all done counting our lucky stars that Rhaegar didn't feel the need to inundate the deck of the chaos with our guts, all that's left is preparing to set sail.
Indeed. You've been making yourself rather busy in Regalport?
Just tying up some loose ends before we go. My P.O. box has become surprisingly popular since I made myself known in these parts, but it's nothing I can't sort out.
And your, date?
You had a date?
Yes, with Miss Jaylee.
Oh, of course. A date with gifts and everything.
Yes, and a customized teapot.
Oh, you don't give just anyone a teapot.
No, you certainly do not.
And one that's been so lovingly handcrafted.
We'll have to make a special shelf to hold the very special kettle.
Big special kettle made by a special someone.
Six, you two do love the sound of your own voices, huh? Yes, the teapot was made by Jaylee. I bet you feel like real geniuses for putting that together, considering her signature is on the dang thing. An exceptionally thoughtful farewell gift, thank you very much. And who am I to reject it? She was invaluable during my Snapdragon investigation, and I'm not about to skip town without saying a proper goodbye.
Of course.
I suppose we should be getting ready for more proper goodbyes. There isn't much time now before we have to set sail.
So, definitely didn't imagine this is how I'd leave Greentarn.
Me neither. Not by a long shot. But we aren't gone yet.
No, there's more to be done.
Yeah, we've got time.
So, we pick up early in the morning in the docks of Regalport, watching the horizon, awaiting the allies who have promised to convene here. When the ship of the World Singers is first spotted, It appears as a mere speck on the horizon, difficult to see with the early rays of the rising sun, and the border between the sea and sky still muzzy in the weak light. Steadily, it draws itself across the open expanse to the beat of the crew, until more and more of it can be seen. Its long, slender body of verdant live wood, the motion of its oars rippling outwards like the smooth, synchronized wing flaps of a flock of birds, the bright sails angled like fish fins slicing across the waves. Only when the ship is nearly upon our watching audience does the sound, the outpouring of voices, mid full-bodied harmony, reach the city of Regalport. We see the crew members, gnomish sailors with nut-brown skin and vibrant, multicolored hair, their mouths all open in song as it resonates through the whole ship, tip to tail, prow to stern, propelling it forward. With a last joyous chorus, clear notes still ringing in the air, the turtle tree glides into the harbor. By now, the sun hangs proudly in the sky, framed by puffy clouds scudding gently about. One briefly blocks out the light, as if testing its edges, before the cloud suddenly swells and darkens, spreading over the city like pooling ink. A fierce wind kicks up, whipping hats and skirts and cloaks into a frenzy as the air turns cold and heavy with ozone. From the looming grey cover, a ship bursts forth with a roaring gale and a crackle of lightning like fireworks to hearken its arrival. Its dark shape swoops towards the city, plummeting like the hunting dive of a bird of prey, faster and faster before smoothly leveling out with a final show-stopping shower of sparks. Gliding lazily above the Regalport docks, its crimson flagged and signed with bright white bolts of lightning mid-clash, the storm chaser has arrived. The Sea Dragons answer the arrival of their allies with full complement of arcane cannon fire, a booming salute of white smoke and gunpowder. The whole ceremony is a production worthy of a stage, music and banners, swords and sorcery, every pirate decked in the finest they can muster, to peacock and parade in front of their allies. High Prince Ryger bows with deference to the ancient gnomish sea witch that takes her place as the Prince of the World Singers, next to him upon a walking palanquin of twisting vines. Prince Brightwind himself drops from the skies, foregoing rope or ladder, gliding down on conjured wind, his scarlet hair billowing behind him. He lands with a flourish that has him mock swoon into Ryger's arms, who gracefully rights the sky pirate with a practiced bow. Never let it be said that the bastard of the Winarns isn't a gentleman, Brightwind says with a coquettish laugh. In the crowd below, the reporters and gossipers hang upon every word. The convocation begins here.
He's exactly who I expected him to be.
Oh my.
I didn't realize the World Singers would actually sing. That's so
Yeah, that's very cool. That's very cool.
Yeah.
Oh.
Sounds like you're cracking open a pill bottle. You gotta get medicated for this guy.
I've already got a headache from him. Need to be medicated.
Oh.
You guys are so
Okay.
mean.
Look at him.
Look at him!
Anyway, hi, I'm here this whole time. I will say,
He's awful.
the fanfare and everything, Willow has been watching from their very humble boat in an optimal position that is obviously too far away from the main everything to be, in the way, but certainly Willow has a good view of everything.
Mm-hmm.
And my god, the World Singers arriving, that's cute. It's nice, they're friendly, but the Storm Chaser arriving. I feel like Willow's watching And they've deliberately been close enough so that they are, well, not like it makes a difference because the storm covered Regalport, but deliberately close enough to be caught in it. And the electricity of it has all of their fur standing on end, and it's like, it's a thrill that they have not experienced in years.
Yeah.
And it's simultaneously like skittering across their skin and also like an anchor in their stomach. Cannonballs in their stomach even. It's just, whoa. And then Coulton. When they were coming up, I think Willow's going to, they're going to be watching the whole thing, but when it kind of drifts to a stop, Willow's going to pull out the spyglass and look it over.
Mm-hmm. Make a perception check if you would like. Yeah.
Yes. I'm looking at the ship for now.
Does he still look like a bitch? Oh, okay.
The ship. I'm looking at the ship. Stop talking.
Yep. Okay.
Gosh. All right. How's the ship doing?
Quite well. You can see some faint indications of battle damage, but all of that looks surface level. And clearly they have been maintaining it very well. Some maybe minor upgrades, but as far as you can tell, it seems much the same as when you last saw it.
From this exact angle, no less.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Though you didn't have a spyglass at the time.
Nope, just my eyes. Oh,
anyway.
Just my eyes.
Yeah.
That's not the point. Okay, looking it over. The Kraken Slayer isn't here.
Nope.
The World Singers also came as just one ship?
It appears to be that the leaders of the fleet are convening here at Regalport for a brief moment before heading to the convocation altogether with Ryger.
Okay. Yeah, and I think from doing their assessment of the ship, they're going to end up drawn to the big old red flash in the front of the ship that jumps off.
Yeah. Want to make another perception check with advantage?
I do. I think I do. Rather, I will. Whoa, okay. Yep.
Okay. Gaudy as ever. You think his hair might be a little bit longer than the last time? But it has been years, so makes sense, I suppose. Still not wearing a shirt that closes. But it's hard to follow him as he quickly, glides down from the literal sky on Featherfall and lands in Ryger's arms.
Yeah, so while he's doing that specific... God, I feel like it rolls their eyes so... not even with thinking of it, their stomach drops when he falls from the sky, yeah? That's a plummet moment, gut plummet moment, and then just like he heard... he heard the risk of Willow being sick, he brings about the of just... Yeah, okay, he's... Some things haven't changed.
Mm-hmm.
There's that.
He's definitely putting on a show for a eager audience.
Yeah. I mean, hey, that's why you need to come here at daybreak so that everyone will see. The sun has to be out so that you see the storm roll in. Obviously, that's part of the whole routine, but that's not the point. Anyway, how does he look? What's he like? How is he?
On a 16, you can see him. He appears healthy and well, and like you can see his clothes and stuff, but you don't really get the like finer details just because you're so far away. And by the time he's like stopped falling at terminal velocity, he kind of gets swallowed up in the crowd. So
Okay.
he's very difficult to see at this point.
Will lowers the spyglass when they realize they've lost sight of him, and has at least the takeaway. He seems well. He's alive. There's that.
He's alive
Well,
and showboating, so he's probably well enough.
Well enough, you know. I think Willow pauses for a long time, like he's okay, but then might will themselves to look back at the ship to see if anyone follows, or how the others are getting down, if they're getting down right now, or if it's just.
I think it's more like the storm chaser is just sort of coasting above. It's likely that this is only a temporary arrival.
Okay. So they haven't like lashed themselves to the lighthouse or anything as yet.
How are you feeling?
I mean, how's the crowd?
The crowd is loving it. They are very excited. It's a whole thing. This is as close as Regalport is getting to being at the convocation. Being landbound as they are.
I think Willard will try once more, just to see if they can spot where they're going. Like, which direction they're going.
For the convocation or the
Cool
ship? Oh.
And
Sure.
the others.
Make a perception check.
Yeah. Still got my spyglass out. We are consistent.
Yep. I want to say that there's quite a bit of like fanfare at the docks themselves of like Ryger doing his big presentation again, welcoming his guests of honor. Lots of sort of peacocking, as pirates want to do. You gotta flex. It's part of the culture.
I think,
How long do you watch? Is the question, I think.
Depends what happens. I think though after the first one, Willow had the kind of, there's a thrill in it. They feel that sickness in their stomach, but ultimately, like, that's the same kind of sickness you get when you're flying as well. So it's not like completely a foreign sensation to be like both excited and kind of like gut plummety. But I feel like as they watch and as they realize how far away they are from all of this, it kind of begins to like build. And there's that like sense of the entirety of Regalport like showing up and being cheerful as Willow starts to feel smaller and smaller and like sort of curling in on themselves in the background. Internally, externally, they're just watching spyglass, just looking, listening if they can.
too far away to hear anything other than the roar of the crowds, the distant bustle of music, and so on.
Is it? Thought passes Willow's mind of like, I'm too far away to hear. What if I were invisible and a little bit closer? Can I trust myself to do that?
I believe you invited somebody to meet you here.
Is that related to what I just said?
Possibly. When do you think you invited Varys to come by?
I think I invited him vaguely with the knowledge of it's less like it's based around the Whisperers coming, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's less about whenever I'm free or he's free. It's just kind of like, I'm clearly going to come to watch the Whisperers, so use your discretion, I guess. I kind of half expect he's going to come and watch as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I half expect him not to show up until the crowds disperse.
I think, rather than that, Varys comes and finds you just as you are considering taking one of the biggest risks you've done in years.
Is that what it is?
Mm-hmm. I would say so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he literally, if that's the case, then he finds Willow kind of fiddling with their glasses in that sense, like they're about to cast the spell. Not even on purpose, just like in their mind, they're like, this would be easier invisible, I could get invisible. Like they're just beginning to think about it. He probably catches them mid-contemplation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You barely hear what he says as a greeting, but his presence is made known to you.
Willow sort of startles like they've been caught. And I think with the feeling of like, you didn't see anything, they're like, oh, I just clicked as to what I was thinking.
Nurse is going to do a little insight check on you.
I don't think I have any time to make myself convincing, and I'm not in the mood to lie. I think he knows at least that Willow's startled by his presence.
Yeah.
And probably in a way that they didn't click on their own, they look on edge.
Quite the crowd, isn't it? Think we might get a better view out in the bay?
I think Willow can't bring themselves to form words, so they're just going to nod a little bit urgently and kind of duck back to the ship.
Mm-hmm. Between the two of you, you unmoor from the docks of Regalport and sail out, at least slightly, into the Crown Bay. A simple fishing boat out on the waters. Able to get a little more distance from the intoxication of the crowd.
Distance, but are we at a new angle?
I would say so, a little bit. You're far enough away that you can see more of the side of the Storm Chaser rather than the underside, let's say.
Without saying anything again, Willow's probably going to whip out the spyglass and have another look. To see if there's anything that they've missed, anything... Any scars on the boat? Any flash of red in the crowd? Just anything?
I think on an 8, you can still see the name Storm Chaser painted on the side of the vessel. And that's all you can see. That sort of... It's been years and the ship is still named the same. I mean, you knew that. You knew it was named the same. You knew the name hadn't changed. But to see it, that's something else.
All the different ways that I've seen it. I think they kind of like flash through Willow's memory over this one. Like flashes of lightning, dare I say. And all of a sudden, I think their eyes blur. They can't look through the spyglass anymore. They have to like remove their glasses and kind of wipe at their eyes.
A lot of feelings welling up. Make a wisdom saving throw. You have to duck your head and grasp onto the railing of the ephemeral chaos and take some deep, steadying breaths before you lose yourself to all of that. You hear Varys approach behind you and sort of signal with his voice before he reaches out and puts a hand on your shoulder. Doing all right? Stupid question.
I think Willow... he asks that question and Willow clearly shakes with like a has started crying and just walks back in to the boat cabin.
Mm-hmm. Does Willow want company or do they need to be alone for a bit?
I think they, I think they need to... I think they're going to go straight downstairs.
Okay.
And be alone for a bit.
You take your time.
There is the faint and distant comfort that Varys doesn't need to be in the room. He is helping by steering the boat. That's something I didn't have last time.
Yeah.
He'll take us where we need to go.
He will.
Yeah.
You surround yourself with the comfort and quiet noise of your own workshop.
I actually think Willow's sitting on the lounge just with their head in their hands. They're like kind of sorry, pardon me. They're kind of just like weathering the storm, weathering the onslaught of memories that have just cropped up horribly.
Yeah.
Like, I think they just have to sit there with their like head in their hands and just kind of let that happen.
Mm-hmm. Make a perception check with disadvantage. You are safe in the knowledge that Varys has things under control.
Okay.
And you can no longer hear the crowds. We cut away to N.
Yeah. Much later, not after everyone has arrived, is when N is going to make their way into Regalport. Pretty much when I imagine the whole day is going to be a bit of fanfare, but like the main event of all the ships arriving is done. N's not going to show up during that period of time for various reasons.
Yeah. Traffic is absolute murder.
Is the ferry still, like, from salvage, still operational and not packed? I imagine there's not too many people coming through from salvage at this point. Either way.
Should be fine at this. You've chosen a time where it's less. You've missed the main rush, so it's a little more relaxed at this point.
Yeah. So, first and foremost, N's going to do a little bit of shopping. There's a couple other things they want to grab before they go through the rest of their list. So they're looking for something that Willow asked them to keep an eye out for, which is an alchemy jug. And
make an investigation check.
Yeah. One other thing they know where to find because they bought it before, but first this. 15.
Ooh.
15. Okay. Let's see. You can find one. It's one of the last ones sort of on sale, so it's at a bit of a mark up, because this is a pretty desirable magical item.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. How much are we talking?
It is marked up to 250 gold pieces.
Gotcha.
You might be able to haggle it down a bit, but
I mean, I'll give it a try since I'm here.
make a persuasion check.
That's a 12.
It's not enough.
Yeah.
They won't budge.
Fair enough. Willow of my mind, feel free to remind me, this would be mainly used for water?
Yeah, I guess we have plenty of water. Also oil, I guess, for cooking, but we have oil. We can just buy oil.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like non-essential, it's just nice to have. I guess milk would be... Does it make milk? Am I making that up?
It does not milk. It does not make
mayo.
milk.
It makes mayo, right?
It makes other things, yes.
Just look it up. Willow would know that it's good for travel.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So it's like a keep an eye out, but I don't know if it's a deal breaker if like it has beer in it, but we can carry beer, honey, but we can store honey. Probably have all of these things. Vinegar.
Yeah.
Acid.
Yeah, literally any of the comestibles that it produces, you can also take along with you. And you certainly won't be short of salt water being on the ocean. But it would save on storage.
Wait a minute. You can't drink salt water.
Well, you can.
We've been over
shouldn't.
this. We've got ways.
You use it for pasta.
Huh?
We've
And
got
for
methods.
cleaning tattoos.
Ha-ha. Yeah, so I can afford it. It's not that bad on my wallet. I'm just weighing up, like, should we save that money for something else? Or
Sorry, I
It
was
might be worth
dissociative. What? How much does it cost?
250 gold.
Gold?
Yeah.
Nah, don't worry about
Yes.
it. We got plenty of.
Alternatively, I can come along and try to make it lower.
Nah.
You're good.
You're
Nah.
spending
You're good.
quality time at home.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
am.
The day before you
It's
leave,
okay,
I'm
it's
not
a
gonna drag you
non-essential.
shopping. All right.
Bruno got
yeah.
us like so much gallons of water, and Willow also has plans to get more supplies. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, well, all things considered, I'll let that one rest. The other thing I'm looking to purchase is a bottle of Prosecco that matches the bottle that N bought all the way back in episode 5 for Vise.
Oh, absolutely. Do you remember that price?
I bought a small bottle last time, and I think I'm buying a full bottle. I think the small
Okay.
bottle was 5 silver?
Okay. Well, I think a full bottle of fine wine, I believe, is 10 gold pieces.
Fair enough, it's a farewell gift.
Yeah.
So, and we'll grab that, and in kind, they're going to turn into Kai and go and pay a visit to said Vise.
Mm-hmm.
Avis it.
Vise, yes. There you go. That's the one.
You darken her doorstep. Presumably for the final time. At least for a while.
For now. Yep. And like last time, if she's not back there, Kyle just wait. Place the bottle in an obvious spot and then go and sit down.
Yeah. When she does come to see you, Visa's like, "Oh, I wasn't expecting to see you around. How's it going, stranger?"
Kai rises from his seat. I've come today to tell you I'll be moving on, though I will no longer be available to take jobs.
Ah, pity. You were pretty good. But it's been a pleasure doing business with you.
You as well. You may pass this information on to our mutual friend. I intend to maintain the mailing address, so if either of you need to contact me, that remains a simple process.
Wonderful. Well, I'll be sure to pass the word along.
Kai
And
nods.
hey, if you're ever back in the neighborhood, don't be a stranger now.
Kai nods once more. Thank you, Vise. Be well, and try to stay out of trouble.
Oh, you know I will. Take care now, Kai. Don't do anything I wouldn't do.
I think she almost sees a little smirk on Kai's face as he turns towards the door and sweeps his way out of the Visa Visage into the daylight.
Very cool.
Alright, I think Kai is going to maintain this form as N goes about the other thing they're gonna do while they're here, which is going to the post office. So they've got a couple things they want to do while they're there.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm going to go ahead and assume, because Alonzo did it, the Regalport post office is able to send telegram/sending messages.
Yes, it is.
And I have Risha's contact information.
You do.
So I am going to, out of pocket, send a telegram to Risha.
Cool.
So,
You have exactly 25 words.
yep, I know, I've prepared. I prepared this. Yeah, so the message is, greetings, Risha. Requesting a full report regarding casino, including repairs, staff, proprietor, notable clientele, or other strange details. No rush. Send comprehensive letter to me. Thanks.
Okay.
And I will send you a transcript of all this later because I'm not done. Because En's also going to send a letter to Risha. This is going to take much longer to get there. But
Oh, yes.
it's a little more comprehensive.
Mm-hmm.
So, their letter is, Dear Risha, My name is Audrey, fellow employee of Damon Ardantego, and the individual you've been told to forward your recent Sharn reports to. First and foremost, I would like to thank you for those reports. Having eyes in Sharn is of great value to me, which is why I'm writing this letter. By now, our mutual employer has likely informed you of my request to keep tabs on the casino. I intend for this arrangement to be sustained for the long term, therefore you and I will be in a working relationship for the foreseeable future. As such, I wanted to extend the opportunity for us to connect directly. I have no interest in asking anything of you that is above your pay grade. To this end, I would be interested in learning more about you, your skill set, occupation, experience, and connections. Only share what you are comfortable with, far be it for me to slight anonymity. And don't be concerned regarding qualifications. I'm confident Sir Ardantego chose you for a reason. I'm not looking to trade out, only to ensure my requests are suited to your abilities. Know your comfort and well-being are a top priority to me. By the time this letter reaches you, you've received my follow-up request. As stated, there's no rush on this investigation. I encourage you to write a full report surrounding the casino and its proprietor, including what repairs the establishment is in need of, the proprietor's health and behavior, staff, clientele, and other details that catch your eye. Send it back to me via a letter. We can reserve telegrams for short requests, time-sensitive intel, or significant developments, unless otherwise requested. In addition to my general request for the casino to be monitored, I have specific dates I'd appreciate observation notes around. Baraka's 9th to 12th, and Rahan 13th. Once again, thank you for your work. If I'm ever in town, let me treat you. Audrey.
Nice. So, you set those up, get them sent, pay for your postage, and they are taken care of in the custody of House Orion and House Sithis.
Yep. I watched them go, and that's it. He will take his leave from the post office and look around Regalport, and then probably make his way back to salvage.
As do we. The camera pans slowly over the village of Salvage, towards the nodding poppy. And in the garden, Luca and Elsa are on hands and knees, examining plants. The Pot of Awakening standing in the background, waiting its new inhabitant. Well, I suppose we should choose something that's relatively hardy, that will do well out at sea, I suppose. At least tolerant of full sunlight and can stand up to colder weather, considering where you're headed. Something perhaps to season food, like rosemary would do quite well. Maybe lavender. Oh, wait. She looks around and then points out a flowering bush of small blue flowers and twinned green leaves, and says, "How about hyssop? It's an ingredient in healing potions, or at least the ones that I make, and you can also use it for tea and food. It's quite nice."
Was it on the recipes you gave Willow?
Yes, it would be.
Good. You make a fair few medicinal things with it, if I remember correctly.
Indeed. It's quite good for digestion and treating inflammation and that sort of thing. Very beneficial as a basis for the more, let's say, unusual ingredients that are required as part of healing potions.
Right, the demon guts and things like that.
Things like that, yes. Elsa sort of checks over the plant and gives it a look. Ideally, you would be doing a transplant in winter when the plant is a little more dormant, but I think we should be fine enough. Just need to mind the roots.
Luca nods. I think she can tell he's like sitting a bit, lingering, like once he starts, that feels a bit more final. So he's just lingering and not starting.
Mm-hmm. What do you think, Luca?
That sounds like a good option, I think. Lots of uses.
Do you want something useful, or would you rather have something more ornamental, sentimental?
Anything from this garden will be sentimental, and it's pretty, so I think the fact that I will have anything green will be uplifting.
That's true. Well then, we'd better get moving before the daylight fades. And I still want to invite those others for dinner tonight, since it's your last night here.
Elsa just punched him in the stomach, basically.
Yeah. Elsa is also feeling a rock in her belly.
Let's do it together. Let's do it together.
Yes, let us do it together. So, with trowels and soil and bone meal, you carefully dig up the hyssop bush and transfer it into the pot of awakening that was so kindly gifted by Malachi. Pack it in with bone meal made from kitchen scraps so that it has plenty of nutrients for it to help grow. I want to say that you spend like almost an hour just carefully digging up this plant and making sure you don't damage its roots too badly so that it'll have every chance of success.
Luca's taking it very seriously, not only because it's the last thing he's going to be doing in salvage, but also because, you know, it has been entrusted to him by Willow, so he wants to make sure he doesn't ruin it for Willow.
Finally, the two of you are finished. A little bit muddy, bit sweaty in the warm summer sunlight. Thankfully, salvage always has a nice little breeze blowing through it up from the sea.
I don't think I'll be getting muddy again anytime soon.
I suppose not.
Just snowy. Iced. Frozen.
Yeah. Oh. Depends when you arrive. I suppose it rains quite a bit in the late summer into autumn.
Soaked to the bone.
Elsa gives you a little pinch on the cheek. Make sure to bundle up then.
I will. I will take every precaution and make sure the others do as well. I think they will fare a little bit less good in the intense weather.
Well, It's a good thing I've given you plenty of winter clothing just in case. I've included some extra things for Willow as well. I'm not sure that they're used to the heavy snows and such.
No, they're more, well, oceanic. So
Elsa gives you a fond look, and her eyes grow a bit glossy.
you can't cry because then I will cry. He'll kind of bring her in, an arm around her
Yeah.
waist, put his head on hers a bit.
Elsa gives like a little breathless laugh and then says, "Oh, I'm sorry, I can't help it." And
I don't think either of
Perhaps-
us can.
wraps her arms around you into a big, tight hug. I'll miss you. I will miss you so dearly, Luca.
Can't even say how much I'm going to miss you.
You'd best write to me every week,
I will.
and I will do the same. You'll know all the gossip in Salvage.
And keep me posted on the baby, of course.
Of course, of course.
Kind of squeezes himself into her.
She embraces you. The warm sun beats on the back of your neck. Dappled light coming through the leaves of the trees in her garden. You smell the lavender soap on her, the faint smell of detergent and disinfectant. The soil, the warmth, the comfort. Seeker Elsa holds you for a very long time, lightly sniffling. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of the fine young man that you've become. And I know that you're only going to get better from here. I'm so proud of you for having the courage to go and face your past and travel with your friends and find the answers that you need.
I love you so dearly.
I love you too, Luca. My sweet boy. She pulls away slightly so that she can give you a kiss on the forehead.
I'm gonna hold her face in return and kiss her back. I don't get to do that enough.
She laughs and sort of wipes a little tear from her eye and leans back into the hug again. And when you've found all your answers, I'm sure you'll come back and look after me in my old age.
In 100 years or so.
Oh, I love you.
I'm coming back. I'm coming back. Don't ever
I know
question
you will.
that.
I know you will.
I love you too.
You are my blood. Your life is my life.
And I take you with me.
Everywhere. She places her hand over your heart. Seeker Luca.
Who gets bashful when she calls him that? Puts his own hand over hers, holds it tight, reaches up, just slides a big streak of mud on her face.
Oh, you rascal.
We can't wallow forever.
No, we certainly can't. We'd be made pigs. Oh.
I'm gonna squeeze her again and then like drag her down onto the grass.
Luca, please. Your nice white shirt. Oh.
Worth it. Stains are worth it, I think. Snuggles her closely.
She ruffles your hair. Come on. We'd best get baking. Dinner won't make itself. I plan to put on a proper feast for you all.
Oh. I'm going to savor every bite until I
You'd
can come
better.
back and have more.
Good.
That will need a name, he says, pointing at the shrub, and as they walk in.
I'll think on it.
Let's make dinner.
Yes, let's.
Yes.
Romy.
Yeah, really, it's really hitting, boys.
Are you feeling it, Mr. Krabs?
Maybe. It's gorgeous, gorgeous art.
Oh,
Thank you.
Thank you,
I
Sarah.
know I didn't sleep.
I had to mute because I was just in the background.
Ugly sobbing in the background.
Yeah.
Oh, so let's cut back to Willow.
No, speaking of,
I believe Varys has sailed you back into salvage for now. By the time you...
surface.
Yes. That's
Yeah,
a good way of putting it.
I do think that as we're approaching, or sort of when you feel that like not a sharp turn, but with that telltale turn of us about to dock, Willow will emerge, kind of nonchalant seeming, and kind of just wordlessly get to work with helping. Does Varys say anything or do anything?
I think he just gives you a quiet look of doing okay.
I think when Willow comes back in from adjusting the rigging and such, they'll just pause and say, "Thank you, by the way."
No problem, Captain.
Willow shakes their head. They're still not kind of... They're not used to whatever that is, you know? Especially now. Especially after all that.
Mm-hmm.
I think just while they kind of wander around the room, they'll mention, "Did you see her roll in?"
I did.
Nothing like it, huh?
No, I imagine not. She's a breathtaking sight.
You should be spending today with your family. We'll be gone for a while. Thank you for accompanying me back. I'll only ask that you take the supplies list and contribute the adequate amount of gold. Help us pull that together. And then you're free to go back and, your family will miss you. So you should do what you want. Sorry. Pardon me.
It's all right. Imagine you've got much on your mind. But I will take my leave for the evening shortly. I'll see you bright and early tomorrow in the morning when we're ready to make sail.
I think Willow will take the 30 gold. They've kind of calculated all of the expenses that they'll need, 30 gold each. And then when they accept the gold from him, they're gonna shake his hand, but they'll close their other hand over the top of his just to. They don't want to hug yet in case it brings it all back. But they want him to know that him being here changes everything.
He gives you a firm handshake in return. And a slight bow of the head.
We'll sort of see him off. And pull themselves together best they can before making themselves visible to the dock and also the Poppy, because they plan to go there pretty soon, hopefully to meet and Luca before they get underway with, probably the quality time plans. We need to get some stuff hashed out first.
Yeah. So, you make your way over to the Poppy. Immediately, sort of the smell of warm baked goods and soap and just the hominess of the clinic warms you as you make your way in. And I think you've arrived.
Yeah, most likely.
Not too long ago. And have been
helping out.
Roped into...
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, roped into, dusting things up and making sure everything is ready. And Elsa's asked you to, make sure that you have enough winter supplies and everything. Blankets, soap, all that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So, there's a bit of bustle in the kitchen.
I think Willow, taking a deep breath before they... Ding dong, they will walk in and sort of add to that thing about things to get, holding up a little list. Not to mention more supplies for the ship.
Yeah, you've sorted most of it, so it's just a matter of picking it up and getting it put on the ship and having all your inventory in place and lashed up appropriately.
We'll do that in the morning. I think
Do we keep a log of inventory? Does that?
I have one. I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I
like logs.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, so you love cabins so much. Get it? Anyway,
No.
log cabins. Log cabins. Anyway, basically Willow's coming to collect the funds required. I do think that they've organized with the dock to
Yes,
sort of
it's
get the
literally
supplies
just
together,
you have ordered everything and then you're just like going to hand over payment at delivery sort of thing.
Yeah. Is there a moment, like you guys are preparing, but there's usually the time when stuff is like simmering or baking, where we can, when Willow can signal that it's time for a debrief?
Yes.
Yep.
I'm sure like Elsa is like, I'll put on a pot of tea and you all can have a nice little sit down.
Willow smiles appreciatively at her.
We'll take some time before things are ready.
Well, in that time, Willow's going to gather you guys around, pull out the map again.
Check on Willow. 19.
Wow.
18.
Wow.
High fives.
Well, I can't roll higher than a 19, can I?
No.
No.
It meets it, beats it, so you can...
Okay.
Wait, no, doesn't it? If I meet it, I beat it? Isn't that how it works?
Yeah.
Because I am trying to contest their emotional armor class.
Emotional armor class is such a good line. Look, I don't think I'm leaning very much into any check I do is mostly about keeping my own wits rather than convincing you guys of my wits.
Fair enough.
Does that make sense? So I don't know if I have to roll anything at all.
You tell them what you see, what they see, even.
Yeah, because you all rolled so high, I think you can see that Willow's a bit very thoughtful, and they look like they mean to talk business. And the business is something kind of emotionally significant to them.
Okay.
They look a bit tired.
All right.
But methodical.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I think now Willow's going to... They're going to pull out the map first and foremost. And begin to say... So, before we set off, I think it's only right that, what is it you said? All cards out on the table?
We're all playing with the same deck.
Something like that. We've gone through this map before. Willow's gesturing. But what I've possibly failed to mention last time is this. Willow's going to gesture to the territory around Orthos.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So that we're all on the same page. I used to be part of the Wind Whisperers Principality. This is their territory. And currently, I do believe they assume me dead. But before assuming me dead, I wasn't in their good books. Riker has implied that I had a wanted poster, so chances are my face is known as an enemy of the Wind Whisperers. And of course, that will be relevant for any point out at sea that we may, come upon a vessel or a person, especially when we are going to the convocation, but significantly when we pass through this area, we are going to need to be vigilant, and I will need you both to also be mindful of this, especially considering recent conversations. Willow looks at Luca. While that one paid off a treat, don't suspect I'll be as lucky if the person you speak to next is a whisperer. let alone the Wind Whisperer's prince. Make sense?
And nods.
God, does Luca understand? Sarah does, but do you think
Yes,
Luca
Luca
does?
should.
Yeah.
Luca
Yeah.
should.
Okay.
He's
Cool.
like, okay, can't
Yeah.
pull the same trick as I did with Riker on the Whispers.
Well, that was different.
Exactly.
was a unique
So this is different.
Yeah. Unique situation.
Mm-hmm. Willow is open to any questions you guys might have. They seem like they are, like, if you have any concerns about this, that you're free to say it, and they're also kind of running through their mind of, like, what should I be telling them?
And like kind of raise. Go ahead.
No, they'll probably also mention the Whisperers, rather their prince is currently in Regalport on their flagship.
Figured as much. And raises their hand a bit, like classroom question. If you're done talking, can I ask a question kind of hand?
I think Willow, like, laughs a little, like, smirks a bit at you, acting like you're in class. Second thing, did N see the Storm Chaser floating around Regalport?
And wasn't looking
It's a big
for
ship.
it. So,
Like, but like if something is in the sky, like, you know, if a blimp is around,
a
you can
blimp.
just see it. I wonder,
Yeah.
did you see
From a
it at all?
distance, probably.
Like imagining just like Kai passing under that, like,
Yeah.
Like,
under the sky.
literally just like, huh,
it sure is an
plane in the
airship.
sky.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, and we'll ask, is the flagship the main ship we have to be worried about, or are there other ships, or are we just blanket assuming all ships are immediately bad news?
Well, I'm sure that if the wanted poster came from the flagship, then it spreads throughout the principalities. So it's old news now, and if I am declared dead, then, well, there'll be a moment of hesitation, I'm sure. But it will depend, and it's hard to say.
All right.
Fortunate we have a changeling who can run interference.
As I recall, Willow also has a spell that helps mask all waves hand at Willow this. So, push comes to shove, we have a couple options. My other question would be, yes, you may have had a wanted poster, and yes, that may mean your face is spread around, but not everyone is going to remember that. Are there any
I know.
particulars beyond the prince that we should be wary of? Any particular faces that, again, if I see them, I'll know immediately, red alert?
Well, two answers. Firstly, I would be recognizable not just by my face, but my work. It's hard to separate one from the other. My
Evidently.
spells, my inventions, they
boat.
are all... Yes, my boat. So, there is that.
And nods.
But as for people of note, suppose also... If the Kraken Slayer still flies... Emma Brightwind. Not the
Is
prince,
she
but former first mate.
Captain?
And bounces their brows a bit. Not sure if Ben knew that Colton had a sister?
Sibling?
A mom?
Auntie!
Willow doesn't even think of that option. They just say Emma Brightwind.
Yeah, it's a name
No
that I would
context.
assume, like, immediately maybe
Family.
member of a female persuasion, but not necessarily. You know, it's like that. I can't really draw
Yeah.
that conclusion. So maybe that's his dad. I
Possibly
don't know.
related. Like, that's it. Semi-related.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Willow's brain's going back to, is the Kraken Slayer even still operational?
Operational.
Yeah,
Because the last time I read about it, it was limping its way away from a fight with the Good Fortune.
and again, is going to interject after coming off the back of like, wait, who Who is Emma Brightwind, actually?
Can I get a description?
Yeah, no, that's literally
Even an out-of-date one?
En's about to say, you don't have to do this now, but any particular physical description or physical notes would be helpful. So even if they're not flying the colors of the Wind Whispers or in Wind Whisperer territory, if either Luca or I see them, we'll know we have to be a little more careful wherever
yes,
we
of
are.
course, of course. Willow has that realization of like, I'm saying shit with no context for you guys. Yeah, they understand that. Yes, I'll describe them later. There's the whole rest of the crew to contend with. Possibly,
course.
specifically the Kraken Slayer crew before we got large.
I'm just considering the fact that you probably worked closely with a few people, a few crews, and all things considered, I don't exactly know what you did to get your face on a wanted poster, and that is your business.
Sabotage. I
Well, I kind of thank you for the
yes,
confirmation, but I did consider that a high possibility.
Dead of the night.
What did you sabotage?
The Storm Chaser. And I suppose in a larger scale, the Wind Whisperers. Perhaps specifically the Prince.
Yeah, and here's my thing, my thought. You have slighted the Prince, apparently, which is massive, but it also, the ripple effect only extends so far, and I understand what you said before. What I'm thinking is more, some of these Wind Whisperers are going to be out for you on a personal level, whereas others will be out for you on a, maybe if you have money on your head, or just, because they're a Wind Whisperer, those are less dangerous. So, just trying to figure out the tier list of concerns.
Luca gives Anna a face.
What?
Yes, the devastation hierarchy.
I come from Sharn, can you blame me?
Way of looking at things.
I come from Sharn, can you blame me?
I cannot blame you. You are a product of your upbringing. As am I. I would argue, though, that perhaps those with a personal basis could be the ones to pause, whereas those who would like to appeal to the prince by bringing in somebody who was wanted might be quick to pull a sword. See me dead. Guess it depends.
Yes, it depends. Do you have a read on... Well, you're listing physical features for me. Do you have a read on, maybe someone who hated your guts before you blew up part of their ship? And those who were decently fond
Luca
of you?
looks at Willow like, what?
Willow kind of massaging their head says, I mean, I'm me, so I'm sure I was polarizing to some, but for the most part, I think the crew didn't hate me.
All right. Well... And pauses a bit and rubs at their neck. Yeah. Okay, I guess...
But I will make your tier list, yes. Oh, my apprentice as well. I hadn't, yeah.
No. Well,
Adorable.
well, you have a new one now.
Great. Hopefully this one ends better than last time.
Fingers crossed. Now, again, you don't have to answer this, but
Just asking, please.
if things do go horribly, horribly wrong, I would be very curious about their capabilities and their weaknesses. If we have to contend with them with any aggression or cunning, what are we working against and what can we leverage and use in our favor?
Well, kind of hearing that gives Anne a bit of a look that I'm not sure. I mean, you could try to read it.
I'll try to read it, yeah.
Can I try? I'm
Sure,
curious.
I'll roll a persuasion check.
I'm in.
Perception or insight?
Inside.
Insight, sorry.
Okay. Nope.
Oh, and no.
Goodness.
Damn
Guys. It's
it. Didn't
unreadable.
even need to roll that.
I don't want to get in a fight with them. But in case, I want to make sure we don't get sunk.
No. It's very smart of you. Zeke, just from memory,
Mm-hmm.
Emma's got a dragon mark, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think Willow, after a small pause, is going to say, both Coulton and Emma Brightwind are dragon marked.
They mark?
Mm-hmm.
Part
Of the storm. Yes.
I'd imagine, considering their position, it's a bit more powerful than Varus.
Well, a question to Zeke. Emma's is on her throat, from memory?
Yes.
And size-wise, what's it like?
Trying to think of a good comparison.
You copied me. That's all I'm saying.
It's on the front of her neck.
The throat is on the front.
Yeah, I know.
We're gonna teach Luca anatomy today.
Oh, I'm very familiar with anatomy, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, you've been
Don't
working with
say it like
Seeker
that.
Elsa.
Yeah, I'm a doctor.
Exactly.
Oh my god.
Shut the fuck up.
Zeke?
I would say it is. Like slightly larger than a golf ball on Emma.
So you can
So-
see all of it when you're looking at her from the front.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I would say, roughly, because the size corresponds a bit with power, yeah?
Yes.
Roughly the same kind of space occupied as Varus's? Or is Varus's
Yes.
larger?
Varus's is about the same size.
And how would you say her, how she fights is?
She is more scrappy and melee based, but she
Yeah.
can do ranged in a pinch.
Yeah, which is I feel not always related to her dragon mark. That's just kind of how she is.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the main thing I remember about her dragon mark is that she uses it to amplify her voice.
Yes.
Yeah.
You?
Yeah. So Willow will probably say, Emma's scrappy, pirate-like, as you'd expect. You wouldn't want to be caught in a fight against her. It's also just the weight of her. Well, that's different, I guess. You're not part of her crew. So, disregarding that, her mark is roughly around probably the same power as Varus's, but that is likely not the thing you'd want to concern yourself with. Regarding Emma, it'd be your swift and untimely death.
Noted.
And Coulton is, well, he's consider some of the most powerful elemental magic you've ever seen.
Is that where the name comes from? Dorm Chaser?
Bright wind.
Because when I think powerful magics of that nature, I think storms, powerful gusts of wind, downpours, and thunderclaps.
Well, that would make him the storm, not the chaser, wouldn't it? Besides the point. He's strong.
Oh, he is the prince, and I'm sure he had to have something to back him up to get that position in that ship. So, definitely wouldn't want to be caught in a fight with him. But everyone has a weakness.
Willow looks briefly like they were kind of going to say, strong in the Whisperers doesn't necessarily mean elite. There's a difference in, here, Ryga, him being the Sea Dragon Prince is He is than the previous prince, but there's a different method than the
Are
sea
they more
dragon for the
nepotism?
Whispers. No.
All things considered about Colton, I don't think nepotism is part of the equation.
No, I don't think that's like... Yeah, I think that's the opposite of what will work for him. The Whispers don't like Lyranda.
And yet.
So
like
read
their
into
ships,
that, huh?
but no.
Okay, yeah, you're going to mention that, and I think Willow's just kind of going to nod and think, you said a lot of things.
God, can I make an insight check on Willow?
What are you trying to read?
What emotions they express when they talk about these people?
Sure, make an insight check.
It's also going to make an insight check, but for a different reason. Basically, they're trying to gauge Willow's comfort levels about talking about all this. Can't fucking read
God
anything.
damn, 2 in a row.
I think N has a headache, actually, so...
N is not looking. I don't
think
see it. I'm not...
I think N is looking, but I think they have a headache for reasons. So...
Fair enough.
They're
And,
struggling.
Huh, I wonder if Colton and Emma are siblings.
Siblings.
I'm kidding. Kind of. Am I? Who
Well,
knows?
how do you feel about those siblings? Meet it to beat it.
Who
So
wins?
I win because I met your emotional god. Yeah.
DC.
Willow. Looks like the bad blood might be one-sided.
Which is to say, the bad blood is not on Willow's side.
Willow talks about them with an air of fondness, even if it's low-key and kind of low energy.
Low-key and also kind of sad.
Yeah.
You get the impression of friends that had a falling out.
And clearly, I don't know if this is an insight thing. I would just say it to you both. Willow hasn't told you any weaknesses.
Yeah.
I noticed that actually.
And notice too.
Yeah, because you keep asking, and Willow's just like, anyway, super powerful, so powerful. Storms and stuff and things and stuff.
Did you see them today?
Just Colton.
Did you get what you wanted?
I suppose I still don't know how to answer that question, but is there anything else you two need other than the tier list? Because there is more to the debrief than just Colton Brightwind.
I think I'm good for now. If anything comes up, I certainly know where to find you over the next month.
Willow looks to Luca. Any outstanding questions? Other than the one of yours I just swerved?
Luca does look like he wants to ask something, but he's deciding whether or not he should.
You're gonna have something so fucked up, I can just tell.
Yeah? Well, given I know where my allegiances lie, will there be an issue if it comes down to me making a choice between one head or another and I choose yours?
First of all, Zeke sucks. Just as I said. Love this guy.
Oh, yeah.
Willow's facial expression shifts towards you at you mentioning that. Luke is asking if it boils down to it and it's between Willow and Colton, am I going to have an issue if you... Or one of them?
I will take down the entire Storm Chaser if it protects you, so...
It's Luca is offering, like, if they plan on killing you, Luca will hit first.
Yeah, and hit harder, so...
Luca will fight for your life.
Are you okay with that? Are you okay with me murdering Colton Brightwind? if he plans to do the same.
Willow gives you a flat look and is quiet for a bit while assessing you. I'm going to insight check you and see what you're...
What are you looking for?
Do you mean that, actually? Do you mean that that's like...
If I am given a choice between letting you die or killing someone, I will take that latter option. I will take Coulton Brightwind down if it means keeping Willow alive.
Obviously, Luca considers this with, like, serious weight. This is a very serious question. He would rather not kill people. You know this very well. His whole oath is about not killing people. However, you are so important to him as a friend, as a companion, that
this
he
is
would
a choice
risk it
that I will
to save you.
Wrestle with, yes. And it is not a choice made lightly, which is why I'm asking your input.
Yes.
There's a initial moment of, like, reflexive disdain that I think with that insight check turns into not just understanding, but recognition. I know that feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And Willow will...
Quite well.
Yeah. Quite well. Willow will say, I don't intend to let us ever arrive at a point where we'd have to make that decision.
It's not an answer.
It's my answer. There is always another way.
And there's your answer, Luca.
Okay.
I think Willow will try and collect themselves after that, having made that quite clear, and will now say, that aside, Meraldine.
Oh yes, the other pirate on our radar.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna see her in a few days.
Yes. I have a plan. Pardon me, I'll just lay it all out on the table. I have offered her the Lazar map. In exchange for her no longer selling Sea Dragon secrets, obviously, with everything on the horizon. Their secrets are going to be imperative in making sure that they remain safe. And their allies in the industrial advancements upcoming. So Meraldine is a breach and needs to be quiet. And so we just have to pay for that silence. However, I don't want to give her the map with nothing working in return for us, so I was also hoping to introduce conditions that she reinvests a percentage of it back into the Blessed Wings Hospital to capitalize on the resurrection success by funding study for it in Regalport to make it more accessible technologically.
Huh. Well, I have no complaints with that.
Mm-hmm. My thought process is that she could easily involve Lydia, which provides funding, publicity, and security, and as well as that, the surrounding guilds that Ryga has made an effort to involve around here, Kenneth and Jurasco, and perhaps even your friends at the Blood of Vol Temple, if there are specialists there that may keep certain things in check. There are plenty of people that could get involved in this. My intention is to force Meraldine to codify them.
Oh, certainly would be a better use of her resources than what she's doing right now.
My main concern outstanding is that I don't trust her, and I currently haven't thought of a way to keep her honest other than perhaps asking Tarek to also be in the room to co-sign on the use of his own death and life to, sell this, market this, possibly. It's rather exploitative, but if you look at it in the other perspective, it's a prime opportunity. to utilize the events of your life in a way that is better for everybody. And he certainly doesn't seem above that, so I mean, we could involve him.
There is magic that can keep people to an
Honest. There is. Willow had a thought about the contract. I think it's the fact that a contract, while binding, is breakable, and Willow doesn't trust Miraldine to not measure up and reason that she can just break a contract.
We sail all the way to Carnath, and then we get the message, your contract has been broken.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, well, we've been trying to contact you about your car's extended warranty.
Miraldine out here smashing my car to bits with a bat. Actually, she wouldn't do that herself. She would alert somebody else if she looks into me a little bit longer. Anyway, so Willow's going to mention, I don't trust her to keep a contract. So my only thought is to otherwise sort of confine her into a position where it's just the smartest option for her. And it's going to be fruitful, honestly. If she wants to sell secrets, then she will be at the turning point of a new type of industry. Ragel will be chuffed.
There is that. It's all about business with her, so... We can make it the best business option for the foreseeable future, then it's probably how we hook her.
Those are the thoughts. We have 3 days or so to iron out the details, and you'll both be involved in the conversations.
All right, good.
Speaking of, Willow leans in a bit. We can't tell Varys.
How are we going to do that?
Rather, we can't tell Varys until we leave.
Okay, that makes it a bit more reasonable. Because I'm pretty sure once we pull up to the Silver Dancer, he's going to be clued in that something is going on.
Yes. If we tell him now or tomorrow morning, he'll probably send a letter to Rago. So...
cut him off. Good plan.
That's the plan, yeah.
Have you checked him for sending stones? How he might be a way for him to contact Ryger at any given moment? We should probably go through his luggage just to be sure.
We'll ask him, and all three stare at him until we determine whether he's telling the truth or not.
Very persuasive.
He has been sent off before as a spy.
He has.
Granted, this may be a... Willow looks at you both. A boat full of traitors?
Well,
Willow shrugs, like stab it in the dark.
Hand. Blow it up.
Beg your pardon?
Sabotage. I assume you'll be able to do something to get us off safely.
What? Willow, look, what? Did you say blowing up the Silver Dancer?
Yeah, if needs be.
We have a boat. It's not like Merlin's gonna probably start anything at the convocation. We just have to get away.
I have already threatened to sink the boat if she, doesn't cooperate, but negotiations are likely, I guess they are currently being made at sword point. But it's mutual sword point, so something to be gained for both of us.
What is your read on Tarek? Do you think he can be used as, and this is the horrible word, but trust I mean it in the best way possible, leverage? You think he'll support your angle enough that it might push Meraldine to not act up?
Willow ponders and says, I don't know Tarek. I won't assume to know Tarek. However, I do know Meraldine cares about him. At least for now.
She definitely was trying to avoid thinking about that whole issue you posed regarding Tarek not being able to return to Regal Port. And in my experience, avoiding a thought can be just as telling as thinking very deeply about it.
I think that Tarek is consistent and steadfast in his views about the functions of society, and that could make him, I don't know, amenable, but more to the point, Miraldine being made. I don't
She's
want
the
to say
biggest
compliant.
biggest obstacle, yes.
They're an obstacle together. Honestly, I don't even know what their relationship is like, so I'm not going to hinge everything on that, but
Yeah, our best option is to provide the carrot and the stick. Give her a
Precisely.
reason to follow along with the course of action we want her to take, and give her a reason why she shouldn't do anything else.
Willow gestures at you like, exactly, thank you for putting that into words.
We have a few days to iron that all out.
Mhm.
But I'm sure if we put our heads together, minus Varys for a day or two, we'll figure something out.
Indeed. So that's all I have planned for now.
And nods. Thank you for sharing.
All in favor? Willow raise their tea glass to you both. Teacup.
And raises theirs.
Luca joins.
You guys all good with it? It's a pretty elaborate, like, little scheme that is quite risky and possibly not effective, but it's something. It's a starting.
Look,
It's halfway. Yeah.
I dragged you to an auction hall with the plans to kidnap Edmund Beckett. I think we'll survive.
Oh, Willow wasn't saying that, by the way. That was a thought.
And we'll give
This
you
is
the
like-
look then. Like,
This is the psychic
Yeah.
connection of
the
us
psychic-
saying that.
Yeah, and giving
With a
the
little
like,
squint and like
We've
the
made
dot, dot, dot.
stupider plans.
yeah, we made stupider
Yeah.
plans and come out, semi on top. This is fine.
Yeah.
This is nothing compared to what we can do. We're a team.
You
Uh,
clink teacups.
Willow will toast to plans in development.
Plans in development.
And to not telling Varys.
And sips 30.
Quickly before we move away, I think Willow's going to move. Is Seeker also free?
Yes.
Cool. I think I may have a quick aside with her. If you guys are right with that.
Yep.
Yeah.
We can go back to tending to the kitchen.
Yeah.
Cool.
Luca and En take care of things, and Willow is able to take Seeker Elsa aside for a moment.
I think they'd probably meet her in her patient's quarters. What are they called? Patient room.
Yeah.
Like sort of knock and meet her in there. Could be the same one where she was mixing the herbs before. So they'll knock, announce themselves, and mention. Before I leave, I was wondering if I could seek your medical expertise.
Oh, of course. Absolutely. What would you like me to look at?
Willow takes a deep breath and then like forces themselves into a seat and gestures to their face. My eyes.
I see. Well then. Seeker Elsa approaches you, and
Will take off their glasses and keep looking down.
she casts detect poison and disease, and that's quite the condition you have there. Might I ask how you came by it?
Ran afoul of the devourer. Willow sort of laughs, and they haven't looked up at her yet, so it fades off. Willow will mention, Do you know very much about the ethereal plane?
Does she? Probably not. We'll see how much she actually does know. I know that it is the... shall we say connective tissue of the material and the outer planes?
Willow kind of shrugs, shakes that thought away, and says, perhaps it's not necessary to know. My eyes absorb a good deal of... how would I say? Willow's searching for the words. How would they say? Like, it's not really magical energy, it's like ethereal.
Well, it is magic.
It is magical?
It is a specifically ethereal magic.
Yeah, like it feels vague to say like absorbed magic, but I wonder if that's all she might need to work with. Willow would then actually use that word. My eyes absorbed a good deal of ethereal magic.
Yeah. So an injury. Well, that would explain. It does seem like a spell or a potion effect gone wrong and permanently applied.
Indeed, I was as good as blind for a little while, but afterwards healed to a sort of haze, I should say, constant vision issues, and additionally headaches. They will affect me as I'm sailing, and I doubt I'll find another doctor in my travels upcoming that would be able to advise whether there's anything I could do to perhaps make it less of a problem.
I'm assuming your glasses mitigate the issue.
Yes.
Right. Well,
Perfectly fine. If not, I just would feel remiss leaving without the opinion.
It would likely take quite powerful magic to treat. And I'm uncertain if you could remove the effect entirely. But certainly it could be ameliorated. But I'm afraid that's somewhat outside of my skill set.
Willow nods. Would you have a reference, perhaps, or a suggestion for where I might find a suitable...
I'm afraid I don't know outside of perhaps some rare miracle workers at the heads of various faiths, or if you have the money for it, perhaps the finest of Jurassico hospitals. But even then, I'm uncertain.
I think Willow kind of nods. There's a stab in the dark, and it's fine if it doesn't reap anything, but the mention of like the finest Jurassico hospitals, Willow will probably say, while putting their glasses back on. I don't think she got a good look at it, unless she wanted to look a little closer.
She has been very closely examining your eyes.
Oh, okay. So Willow had to look up at some stage. I do think, yeah, Willow's just been avoiding looking at her, but...
Yeah, you've been looking at the ceiling, but not at her.
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
Well, now when they put their glasses back on, sort of like fix themselves up, they'll say, well, with any luck, and thanks in part to your, how should I say, guiding words, the Regal Port Hospital might be the one. That'd be poetic, I think.
I suppose it would.
Willow's gonna hop up. Speaking of, I have a gift.
Oh?
Willow's probably going to gesture to her now and bring her out to the living area. Sort of just like stride out of there.
Seeker also follows you.
You guys probably cooking.
Yeah.
Oh, should I give it to her private? No, it's okay. I think I'll give it to her on the table. I think I left a little like something in the living room because I don't think my pockets are ready yet.
You've got like a little bag.
Yeah, I left that
Ouch.
probably at the table. So now that the table's been cleared, Willow's not going to draw you guys over, but you guys are like in the vicinity, and they will plop a box on the table and gesture to Seeker Elsa.
Oh my. Well, thank you. She carefully opens it up. What does she see?
I think inside Willow's, it's a nice square box, and then inside it's like cushioned or it's got fabric or something, and like right in the middle of it is just this golden orb. And
Oh my.
I do think it's like made so that when it opens up, it's almost like it activates,
Mm-hmm.
and like you'd have the little like dogling vision of like looking up at Seeker Elsa
Mm-hmm.
as the box lid moves away. And you're just like
The
looking
little
at each
peek
other
peek.
before it loads up, and then like slowly rises with a little twist as its fins come out to float in front of Seeker Elsa, right in front of her face.
Oh my, what is this little creature?
The alarm I promised you.
It is?
You recall our
And I
conversation.
Yeah. And
No,
like
no,
leaning over, like, what?
Yeah, Willow's made a second fish dog looking thing. And the little clockwork dogling does a little hello! And like a warbly, tinny voice.
Thanks.
Luca dropping all the dishes.
Yeah.
How
It
about
does.
that?
Elsa might remember that Willow spent the cart ride the evening after, actually, the same night she talked Willow into supporting the idea of resurrection,
Mm-hmm.
which has led to Willow being like, okay, well then we'll put it in the medical field then. We'll use Neuralene to do that.
Mm-hmm.
That same night, Willow told her a lot about her, like, their design principles around
Yeah,
the fish dog, and I think she
Yeah.
might recognize that in theory.
she
here now.
does.
Yeah.
It's like one of those emotional support robots, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
It's a little floaty webcam that
Yeah, it does
is your
look a little bit-
friend.
Yeah. Imagine it has similar physics to like the fairies in Legend of Zelda.
Yeah.
And especially with how Zeke said hello, I was like, oh, it's like Navi. So, yeah.
Little warbly voice.
Willow's going to start talking about it. It knows the light cantrip, it's self-repairing, it can speak, and if in a pickle, it can scream as an alarm, and also hurl little pebbles. If necessary, of course, that we would hope that doesn't come to pass.
Well, that might be a good option if I need to keep crows away from my garden. Oh my. Thank you, Willow. This is a lovely gift. And I think Seeker also wants to give you a hug.
Yeah, Willow won't stop her.
Yeah.
In fact,
she gives you
mm,
a hug.
yeah, I think that's probably one of last time Willow gave her a hug, it was awkward. This one, they like let her hug them and then just like, yeah, they'll hug her back.
What's the tail doing?
It's sedate. Willow's quite sedate and fine with this, but I think while hugging, they'll probably like pat her on the back and say thank you for looking after Salvage.
Thank you for looking after Luca and Anne.
Does the dogling have a face?
I think it has a similar
It has
screen to Fish Dog.
Yeah.
Does it make a
Little
smile?
lens.
I don't think it... oh, it could. It could have little faces, like, programmed
It
into
does it has a little rudimentary, like, smiley face, I imagine.
A pixel smile.
Yeah.
I see you made it look like me.
Well, it
So
rolls
Sika
their eyes
also
away
wouldn't
from the
get
hug.
lonely.
Yeah, something like that.
En's gonna like grab it and pull it in and hold its face close to their face, like
I think as you
Counting on you,
as you
buddy.
grab it, it does a little.
Yeah.
well, and like they don't fuck this up for me kind of crap.
Actually, make a dexterity check to try and grab it.
Okay, let's see how
It has an AC.
Yeah.
Oh. Wow.
Holy
Yeah,
moly.
You snag it. Easy.
hold it close. It's
Scoop.
like, counting on you. Let's it go.
What's the last bit you said?
Counting on you.
And lets it go.
Yeah. And then
Oh,
I let
right,
it
yes.
go.
You just threatened the dogling?
A little bit.
A little bit. It's a warm statement coated in a bit of a back alley street
A
fighter.
tiny threat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pushes you up against the wall in a back alley and threatens you. Look after my grandmother.
Yeah. Anyway.
Little guy.
Yeah, but otherwise, it just seems like very chuffed to see it flying around, and there's certainly a look of recognition, and they feel reassured seeing it around, knowing that this is the alarm that they kind of asked Will for a long time ago. And though the threat of all that has been largely dealt with in a lot of ways since that time, it's still reassuring to know that the puppy will have a first line of defense in case something happens with them here.
You know everyone in Salvage is going to want one.
Well, I suppose I'm just lucky that I get the first.
Willow kind of smirks. Smiles.
That being said, since it's your final night in Salvage for a while, Elsa will formally invite Willow to have dinner and sleep over. She's making a roast chicken with herbs and bread and a fresh salad from her garden. Maybe a little bit of a fruit pie for dessert.
Willow's not about to reject that. Of course they will. But they will mention I do have to duck away. Briefly. Duty calls. Willow gestures back to like the vague direction of the dry docks and makes a frown that you know is Bruno.
I see.
Don't let him keep you too long.
Well, he's had me this whole time, so
Yeah, he's had enough of you.
probably.
Is that why he was packing your boat? He's wanted you to leave
Can't
right
wait
away.
for this shifter to leave. Packs your
Oh, wow.
boat for you just so you'll leave faster.
Wow, you guys have spoken to him? No way.
Seen him from a distance, and that's all I needed.
Heard him from a distance.
That too. And just going for a walk and hear Bruno shouting in the distance.
The ambience of salvage.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
Yep, it's just part of the soundscape.
Mhm.
He's the number on the boat.
Go on, break! Numbnuts!
All right. So, Willow, I believe you're heading over to Bruno Saltbeard's office for maybe the last time.
Oh. Yeah, I am. I would have politely excused myself from dinner after helping, and yeah, we're going to Bruno's. I got everyone's money, so if everyone wants to take $30 out of your character sheets,
Yep, done.
yeah.
And we have
organize this earlier, just so I can
We
get it from
have-
my bank
Yeah,
account?
it was already done.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice.
We've
Thank
done this off
you.
screen.
Really just has that on them. And yeah, gonna go over to Bruno's. I'm pretty cash. Pretty cash. Breathes shakily.
Mm-hmm. Look, it's fine.
Yeah, no, Willa's gonna stop outside. Probably going to go and like raise their hand to knock, and then think, "No, why would I break tradition now?" Bruno.
Come on in.
Willa will let themselves in.
Bruno has set up in anticipation of your arrival his tattooing equipment.
Ah, you're all prepared. Wouldn't expect anything less.
Where are you having it?
Smack bang, middle of the back, rather up here. Willow would gesture, sort of at the base of their neck,
Mm-hmm.
middle of the shoulders, I suppose.
All right then.
Trust your
That's good.
hands haven't grown unsteady with old age or anything.
Trust you've got a better pain tolerance.
Nope. We'll take their seat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think before they kind of they're gonna take off their jackets, and I kind of imagine them like turning the chair around and
Yeah, you're sort of
Like-
lean forward on something,
yeah,
like a padded situation, so that you can rest your weight against it without trouble.
yeah. So like they've hung their jacket over the part that like they would be resting on.
Mhm.
And I think before they kind of can stop and think too hard about it, they are going to like lift up the back of their shirt
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
over the shoulders, probably like tuck it under their chin in front of them, like
Yeah.
hold it in front of them and lay on their front
Yeah.
and reveal the back of their tattoos, which I'm not sure if have been
We've
revealed.
never described.
Yeah, it's only been the ones on their arms.
Mm-hmm. Would you like to describe them?
Sure. Now that Willow's a little bit antsy, but they're using like momentum to keep them from thinking a bit too much about the fact that Bruno is now being made privy to this, which is I would say the tattoos on their arms, the ones that are visible when they're wearing their shirts. Mostly they seem like just kind of arrangements of blueprints, diagrams, constellations, things that look like that, making like a big kind of geometric, but not like consistent, like not tessellated,
Mhm.
sort of mural of shapes and patterns on both of their arms.
Mm-hmm.
But as it gets closer to their torso, and specifically where it wraps around on their back and on each of their shoulder blades, Bruno, I'm sure, will be able to tell that these are what is the word for them again? Not flat plan.
Blueprints? Floor plans?
Floor plans. Floor plans, and specifically that they appear to be floor plans that kind of flatten, like from the bird's eye view, flatten
Mhm.
all the multiple levels of something into one
Mhm.
flat line image with embellishments. So while the core of like each of these layouts is a neat sort of blueprint, what's
Mhm.
around them seems to be the embellishment of the artist.
Mm-hmm.
And on their right shoulder, there is a large outline and inner workings of what I'm not sure if Bruno knows specifically, but it seems to be a very large ship.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of extends over their shoulder, slightly down their arm, I think this is the one that Brina would have seen because it's rather big, the shape of it. There's little visuals scattered throughout, like a sword, like just the shape. If you look closely, one of the lines that's coming off or maybe integrated into the actual ship is a sword facing down their sword arm. And then, like a crossbow, perhaps blended into like the front, the bow of the ship, that kind of thing. When you look closely. And on their left shoulder, smaller, and certainly like far less extravagant, is sort of just a simple squarish space. Just looks like a broom. Not really clear what it is, but around it I think there would be little diagrams of leatherworking equipment or equipment. I don't know if Bruno would know that it's leatherworking equipment, but certainly it seems like hardware, like a craftsman's sort of workshop.
Yeah.
And then the blank space right in the middle. And I think before Bruno can talk, but it's probably clear that he's been looking. We'll like swat a little folded up piece of parchment over their shoulder for him to look at. I'm thinking of something like this.
Bruno unfolds it and looks closely at it.
And it is the Ephemeral Chaos. Willow's kind of taken... they've only detailed certain lines of it. But it seems like they've incorporated the top, middle, base all together. There is a little section at the bow of the ship that seems to be a little diamond that is spreading out with like an array of angular lines to the rest of the ship. Could be ornamental. I'm not sure if he knows what to make of that. It's pretty.
Yeah. Bruno nods. Aye, we can get this done.
Within your skill range, you reckon?
Oh, more than likely.
It's all lines. Feel free to, embellish around the edges.
He nods. And gets to work. Traces out the diagram in pen first to give himself guidelines before preparing the ink and needle. Sits behind you on a stool and you feel his rough, steady hands on your back. Warm. Bracing. Supportive. As you've always known him to be. If slightly abrasive.
Yeah. Willow has that little moment of like, this is comfortable, this isn't that bad, and then just the little sting of ow.
Yeah. You grit your teeth as the needling starts.
Willow like in their head like, oh, I forgot they hurt. Like it's been a while. Of course they hurt. Ow. Can't cry in front of Bruno though. I'm not gonna cry about it, but like it's such an annoying kind of anyway, suck it up. Willow just propped to their chin, like with their I reckon their chins like propped on their arms a bit. Just like frowning through the initial like acclimatizing phase.
I think Bruno like offers has precisely placed like a little leather strip that's for biting down on so you don't break your teeth.
That's okay. It's okay. I think once it gets like there's probably certain points that are going to like be ouch, but like
yeah,
it's okay. Willow can handle it. They've gotten the rest of the sleeves done. But I think they would try and probably like talk to keep themselves busy and not just focusing on the tappa 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 tappa. So what are your plans for tomorrow?
Well, there's a ship sailing out.
Huh.
It's been long overdue. But we'll be a bit sad to see it go.
Sad.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Grown fond of the old thing.
The ship? Yeah, of course, the ship. Well, I just realized what they said. Well, you... Yeah?
But ships are made for sailing. No use letting one rot in the harbour.
Yeah, I guess not.
My hope is that in a few years' time I'll see it again and have plenty of work on shoring her up again.
Yes, huh?
You know what it's like to take something a little run down, a little broken, and make it good as new.
Well, I mean, I also know how to break.
One of your less appealing skills.
Willie thinks of something and then kind of drifts away from it and will say, do you still have that watch? Like, rather, can I have a look at that watch?
Which watch are you talking about?
The one I gave him.
Oh. Yeah, of course he does.
Yeah, Willow will know that he does.
Mm-hmm.
Willow kind of, like, would hold their hand over their shoulder.
Mm-hmm. He gets up with a bit of a sigh and looks around the room a bit before returning and passing it to you.
Willow will kind of look it over.
Mm-hmm.
Just make sure it's all in tip-top condition.
Give me an investigation check with disadvantage.
Is a disadvantage?
Because you are getting tattooed right now.
Yeah. Investigation?
Bruno has not stopped, but yes. Yeah. Looks to be in good condition. Nicely polished.
Oh, he's still
Perfectly
polishing.
wound. Yeah. Gotta keep the corrosion off from the sea.
I do imagine it's just like a... It doesn't have the closing clasp, but it's just one that he can like easily lift out of his pocket and look at.
Mm-hmm.
They check it's all good, and it's good. He's kept it,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
Willow kind of turns it around in front of them and then says, I haven't gotten you a farewell gift.
Oh, it's not a farewell, is it? So, see you later. Unless there's something you're not telling me.
Willow shakes their head.
No.
Did you know? Willow sort of holds the watch up. When I dropped this one off, did you know who I was running with?
I had a pretty good idea. Wasn't exactly hard to miss.
Yeah. Willow kind of shifts like their shoulders a bit,
Mm-hmm.
and then
There's this hold
kinda-
still.
Yep.
I know better than to ask you what happened.
Willow's just pondering quietly. Bruno knows better than to ask what happened. It's kind of been the cornerstone of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Willow doesn't really know how to talk. I think they're just turning the pocket watch around. There's nothing they can fix about it. Nothing they can do with it.
No.
It's perfectly maintained. I think Willow will probably say, well, if there's anything you want to ask, now's the time. It'll be a few years, apparently, according to you, before I am back here again.
What do you think of your new crewmates?
No, they're fine. Pardon me, that sounds cold. Well, they're the reason I'm still sailing, so to speak. So they must be fine. Otherwise, I wouldn't consign myself to being in a boat with them.
I've seen you make dumber decisions.
That makes Willow like. There's like a they don't have to look over their shoulder for him to know that they've given him a kind of deadpan look. And again, similar memories kind of come up. There's like a thought just shifting in the back of Willow's head.
But that's good.
I've
heard from Seeker also that Luca fellow is steady and... Well, I can't speak to the Changeling, but haven't heard anything ill about them.
Been talking about us behind our backs.
Nothing out of the ordinary.
Just grandpa things.
Excuse me?
Beg your pardon?
Okay. Grit your teeth, here comes a fiddly part.
Okay, we're gonna just dig their head in their arms. I think after they surface from it, unless is Bruno gonna say something?
No.
They'll surface from it with like a... Is that one of your embellishments? I don't remember drawing that part in.
No. Those overlapping lines of yours. You've got a fair few of them.
Yeah. I think Willow's gonna put the pocket watch in their pocket for now, just so that they don't drop it or squeeze it. So like it's been lowered into somewhere safe.
Yeah.
And they're like kind of jumping. Whose idea was this?
I just work here.
I think some more time passes where Willow's just like holding themselves together and also just musing about like there's so much to say to Bruno and they don't even know how to begin it. And Bruno's saying nothing too about having spotted their tattoos for the camera's sake. Can I know what his face was? I guess not. I don't know.
Pensive, I would say.
Pensive? Oh.
Yeah.
His voice didn't give that away at all. Anyway, that's fine. Pensive.
Yeah. He He's focusing on doing a good job of adding to it and integrating into... I think... So, it's been a while since you've given any suggestions for improvements to the dry docks.
Eleanor was a suggestion, in a way.
Nothing structural stand out to you?
Nothing I haven't fixed already. Willow's gonna rack their mind. Do I need to roll anything to see if there's anything on my mind?
This is Bruno's way of like small talking to you about what you think of salvage and so on.
I think
here.
I think in Willow's mind. Okay, they're probably gonna say. I mean, if I had time and my way, of course, it would be dressed to the nines, so to speak.
We'll see what we can muster while you're gone.
Salvage is as good as it is. It's humble enough not to draw any attention, but reliable.
Hey, 'tis good to be reliable. 'Tis good to have people who rely on you, who you can rely on in turn.
Yeah.
Even if half the time they have their head up in the clouds. You can hear the sort of fond smirk in Bruno's voice.
I think Willow kind of adds to that. They laugh a little, but then they add, or deep underwater. Willow, I'm thinking about Salvage being reliable, all the people here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they want to say that out loud to him.
Now or never, baby. When are you going to say it?
I don't think they want to say it because it's like... It's okay. They've talked themselves out of that part. There's a part of them... Okay, no, I think they'll say it. Suppose I wasted a fair bit of time, not being as helpful as I could have been.
It wasn't a waste. Recovery is never a waste. Some days it was a victory if you got out of your room at all. But you know that.
I think Bruno hears Willow like swallow really hard, like you got a lump in their throat.
Does a little pat on your shoulder. Could be that he's just trying to steady himself as he moves around, but the comfort is there.
Suppose I didn't make it easy for you.
Don't flatter yourself.
Oh, is that where I got it from? Willow says to themselves. Oh. I think Willow, they do that, like, that telltale nose sniffle, and then we'll say, speaking of, I have something to set straight.
Hmm?
Remember the Gaffanon? Yeah.
The goblin ship?
Yeah. Half expecting that needle to just go right through my back right now. Maybe I shouldn't ask this while you're tattooing me. Rather, shouldn't state my case.
State your case. You've started it already.
Well, back then, I don't know if you recall our conversation. This was what? Just before the throne hold. 2 years? I know your memory isn't what it used to be, probably.
You almost hear Bruno rolling his eyes behind you.
Well, there's just something I want to set straight about it.
Hey?
How to say this? You, mentioned back then that I hadn't really considered the fallout. Yes, and how it would affect Salvage and you and everybody.
Hmm?
That's wrong.
Is it now?
Very. It was a very measured approach. I know from the outside it seems like I'm just acting out, but I thought of every possible conclusion to that, and I would never have... Now, let me put it like this. Ultimately, it would have boiled down to 2 conclusions. If escalated, we could handle it. If not escalated, but if it did escalate, 2 things. Firstly, what's her name? The Master-at-Arms would be blamed. It's ultimately her responsibility to ensure the cannons are taken care of. None of her assertions would change that she failed at her work. So I covered my tracks, and her accusations were hollow. She would never have been able to prove that I did it, so it falls on her.
Mm-hmm. And the second thing?
Well, failing that, I observed a phenomenon when I was younger. When somebody from a Dargoon squadron did something minor, failing a task, maybe the whole crew would pay for it, half rations, extra hours, that sort of thing. But for situations more severe, more unforgivable, the culprit would be made an example. One person would be made a demonstration to the others, and so in the event that escalations got out of hand, I think Willow takes a deep breath and then says, like, decisively at the end, I wouldn't have let anything happen to Salvage.
That's where you miscalculated. Bruno donks you on the back of the head. You being made an example of would have been something happening to Salvage.
Yeah. Realize that later.
Ah, so you did realize it.
Yes,
Good.
I lectured Anne about it a few months ago. At the time, however, The accusation that I didn't care about salvage was possibly the worst thing you ever could have said to me.
Well, I'm glad that got you through your...
in the ocean, even, directly afterwards.
Well, at least it made you pause and think.
Well, it looks over their shoulder at him. Like, the whole point of this narrative is that I did think. This anecdote, rather. You can't accuse me of not thinking. About everyone's safety. I've decked out the clinic. I've kept salvage secrets. I'm bolstering Ryga. Everything I'm doing is...
You're still green behind the ears.
Well, that hasn't stopped the world from happening, has it?
No. It has not. But if I'm going to impart one last wisdom on you, before you go gallivanting off to Corvair, you know that this whole way of working only works if it's mutual, right?
Aye.
And you're included in the mutual.
Aye.
Don't sound so fucking sad about it.
It's a fucking sad occasion. Sorry, pardon me. I didn't mean to... Also, additionally, I'd like to say sorry. I didn't mean to stress you out. And for everything else. The whole time.
It's what kids do.
Well, that was...
I'll admit, you're a sight more trouble than those three rascals.
Wow.
Thought you prided yourself on being a trouble starter.
Yeah, but to people I don't like.
Oh, is that what you think of me then?
No.
You're all right, Willow Jenkins.
Cordovan, actually.
Cordovan.
Lula is going to gesture to their left shoulder blade. Leatherworking family.
Erna nods. Good solid name.
Good solid crafts.
Well, keep your tools sharp.
Well, I think keeping with the momentum of it, Willow will say, sorry. Yee. Who knows? Maybe in a few years. Maybe in a few years they might enjoy the splendor of salvage the way that I have. It's quite like home, actually. Quiet.
You already know. Bruno is referring back to the somewhat scuffed attempt of a heart-to-heart a few weeks back now, where he said that no matter what happens, salvage would be your home.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's been good to me.
You've been good to it.
I think Willow is crying. They just kind of hit them.
Yeah.
He sees them kind of just like rubbing at their face.
Bruno tosses like a handkerchief in front of you, as if he's just moving stuff out of the way.
Yeah, Willow tries to sort of sniffle it away, and it hurts.
Hey, it's a tattoo.
My other ones didn't hurt this bad.
Well,
Could
it's
be the
because you're doing
tattooist.
it on your... It's because you're doing it on your shoulder blades. Less meat to get through. You're such a skinny thing.
Pardon me. We're still clearly crying, but trying to like. They do a little smile and just sit there and like let him finish what he's doing.
Yeah. I think Bruno sort of like distracts you with a story of like, at least you're not puking up at the pain. Some wimps are. Just like literally talking shit to distract you and make you laugh a little bit.
Willow probably going to just like flashback. Did I like remember the time when Willow said they got like really really drunk with Bruno, and then like did they puke? I think they have that dawning like embarrassed memory. Like I think I remember crying, but did I vomit?
Bruno is clearly talking about something else.
Yeah, no, but Willow's just like, at least I've never puked in front of you. Wait.
Wait.
Did I?
Make an intelligence check. You're pretty sure you didn't.
I just wept.
Yeah.
Did I weep? Oh my god, I feel like Willow hardly remembers, and then what happened, they have like kind of vaguely forgotten. They might ask Bruno if he remembers that.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Thank the sovereigns.
Yeah. A few hours go by. The tattoo is finished. It's past sundown now. By the time Bruno cleans up your marks and puts a pad of gauze on your back. I think I did quite well. Maybe some of my finest work.
Can I assume that he doesn't have a mirror in here? I feel like he doesn't, just for the sake of Willow being able to say to him, I'm going to have to trust you on it. If I get to the poppy and you have just written something silly on my back...
Please. Oh. He shakes your hand. It was a privilege working with you. Willow Cordovan.
Willow shakes his hand back. Thanks for taking me in, Bruno Saltbeard.
Fair winds favor you.
I'm not gone yet. I think Willow from there is gonna just kind of have a hug him.
Yeah. Yeah.
They will like crouch into it.
Yeah. Make a perception check. Bruno's choked up.
Oh shit. Oh no, I'm choked up too. We can't both be that. God, it's been 8 years since I met him. Whew. No, it's been 6 of the worst years of my life since I re-met him. Oof. Whoa, and I'm setting off tomorrow because of him. I think
You're
Willow's
doing so much better.
so much better. I'm miles away.
Yeah.
And it's...
You're practically
Hopefully-
a different person
Yeah.
compared to back then.
And Willow's not going to say it, but I feel like the sort of secondary squeeze they give him is that, like, very bone deep,
Yeah.
like, acknowledgement of that.
Yeah.
There's the initial hug, and then there's that, like, extra squeeze of, like,
Yeah.
wouldn't have made it without you, actually.
Yeah. I know you'll do all of Salvage proud. Don't make me a liar.
Willow nods.
And send a letter now and then.
Completely quiet, they nod again.
Right. Well. Best get a good night's rest. Sort of claps you one last time on the upper arm. Gives you a little squeeze. Very, like, sort of dad jostle of, you've got this. And sends you off.
Willow cannot. Like, there's no point trying to hide that they're, like, crying.
Mm-hmm.
So they just don't. And they just, like... Yeah. I think Bruno said all needed to be said, and the hug said everything else. And tears.
Yeah. Yeah.
Willow's gonna walk back the long way.
Mm-hmm. You take Salvage in. Peaceful little fishing village in the shadow of Regalport. The lighthouse gleaming in the twilight as you head home to the warm, familiar glow of the nodding poppy, where your friends await you for a farewell feast with Seeker Elsa. Salvage won't be the same without you. You wouldn't be the same without Salvage. That is the thought that everyone has as they eat and drink and talk and laugh in the warmth of the nodding poppy. Elsa has made a fine, if humble feast of roast chicken and fresh baked bread. Salad from her garden of herbs. Fresh summer fruit baked into a buttery pie.
Also, like, emotionally compromised by this. I feel like the whole team just, like, sitting here.
Yeah.
Like, just in silence, looking at each other like, oh my god, last dinner in salvage.
I'm just envisioning the scene, how
Yeah.
warm and just really nice it is.
Yeah.
This has really become a
So
home to
nice.
all three of us. Just
Yep.
sitting here, laughing, eating, enjoying our time like a family.
Yeah. Making the
Think
most of it.
The occasional, like, sting when a Willow moves their shoulders, like,
Yeah, did you
registers
notice
as
that
a-
Willow has...
oh, wait, I would have told you guys. Oh, no, I don't know if I would have told you guys. But, like, every now and then there's a little wince and that, like, almost inspires a smile because it just reminds them of what just
Mhm.
happened and, like, everything that's happened.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like a pleasant sting on their back to remind them of exactly what's going on. It's grounding.
Yeah. It's
After
the,
all that
like,
complaining.
when you're sore, but because you had fun.
Yeah. It's kind of like a hard clap on the back. The Bruno Saltbeard special, the type that launches you across the docks, but in a good way. I think every now and then Willow gets like a little distant and wistful, but in a nice way.
Yeah. Just sort of taking it all in.
They're prone to little moments of like fast blinking, like, oh, someone said a thing that reminded me that we're leaving, and I feel, but like,
Yeah.
mostly keeping it together at the table.
Yeah.
Luca is doing his best not to let himself linger in that sad feeling, so I imagine he's doing a lot of conversation
Animated
management.
talking. Yeah.
Yes.
I imagine, Luca, the way that you're sort of staving off the sadness is by leaning into the excitement of what's to come.
Yeah. It's
Talking about sea monsters and distant islands and has never seen snow before. You're going to have to build a snowman. Absolutely.
and snow angels and sledding.
And a hot chocolate on a cold night, or like mulled wine.
And like, oh, that sounds so good already.
Yeah.
You won't say that once you start freezing.
Oh, look, I've already anticipated all the bad. Let me anticipate some good.
I don't remember much, but I do remember the feeling of feeling like you've lost your toes.
Oh,
Even if
it'll
you
make me
haven't
miss the
quite.
heat of Sharn.
It's mostly sweat, isn't it? If I remember correctly.
There can be other things too. When I understand, you're gonna find out.
Well, I hope I'm not afraid of heights.
That'll be an unfortunate thing to discover by the time we get there. Don't worry, we'll get you a Featherfall token. You'll be fine.
I'm sure Willow could make one of those easily.
Oh, that's true. Then we don't have to crack out the cash, and all of us can have one.
Pardon me, I wasn't listening.
Good food?
Very.
Then don't even worry. Just enjoy.
They've just been enjoying kind of the sound of your voice and the warmth of a home.
Mm.
Sorry, am I making something?
Probably. In the
Maybe.
future.
You know, they actually tried
We'll
to
push you
pass
to
a
work.
law way back when that you had to have one of those tokens to go into the upper wards.
Token.
Mm.
Featherfall coin. It
Oh,
does
I know
pretty
Featherfall.
much what it
Right.
does on the tin. But say we're halfway across a district on 2 different bridges and you can't cast it, and one of us has the unfortunate run-in with gravity off the edge of a bridge.
Did they give them
Nice.
out? If you went to the highest Shan place, did they just,
Highest
Hand
Shrine
you a
Place gives
token.
nothing out for free, Luca.
did you take it out for free?
I had a coin. I had one on my person from time to time, yes.
I'm sure you'll all keep each other quite safe.
Yeah, if we're all
I don't know
together, if the need arises, we can create a little daisy chain to dangle off the bridge and at least buy us some time. Assuming I'm not the one clinging to the bridge. Like in the best case scenario,
going to
Luca's
say-
at the top, and then it's Willow, and then it's me, and we just
I
like,
will give us all. I will figure something out. Nobody's falling off Shan? Is that what we're talking about?
Which of the two of you is... Luca gestures to his shoulder blade. No, his biceps. Which of you is stronger?
take a wild fucking guess, Luca.
Well, I didn't want to be presumptuous.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. When we were first setting sail out to Sky Shriek, the whole pulling the boat thing, that was all a show. I wasn't actually contributing. Because there's nothing here, and slaps their bicep.
Yeah. Noodly little wizard arms.
Yeah. I think Willow has responded by pulling up their sleeve and flexing next to N, like
Yeah.
almost to point out their like look.
Yeah.
I have
And
muscle
whistles.
definition in my arm.
There you have it.
No, put those away. This is a dinner table.
Now I could
me
do this, and does beef up their arms a bit more like Luca. Only one of them too. I will.
Yeah.
But that's all.
It's
air.
just like
those away.
It's like it's literally like and has just inflated a balloon. You know, it's like
Ugh.
a kid stuffing pillows into their sleeves.
Yeah. But there's no actually muscle there. It's all for show.
Yeah,
What
Willow's
is
gonna
the
poke it.
point?
It's like a marshmallow.
Yeah. A little bit squishier than you might anticipate. Yes.
You'll have fun together.
Hmm.
Hopefully a microcosm of what's to come. We're gonna have so much pain.
It's not what we're thinking about today.
No,
Don't
not today.
don't borrow grief
Very
from the
nice.
future.
Yeah.
Whoa, bars. Okay.
I've got plenty of grief behind me. It's fine.
You don't need that either. Live in the moment. It's
No.
all you got.
But I think with full bellies and full hearts, you wind down the evening. I imagine like all of you just kind of like cozily sort of lazing around the living room
Mhm.
after cleaning up.
Oh, of course. Luca's not gonna let Elsa clean up.
Nah, for sure. We're hoping.
Yeah, absolutely.
But after that, it's all
Yeah,
Mm.
we're probably
Well,
up.
I think.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say like after dinner when Secret Elsa walks out, Willow's going to be like, "Want to see something cool?" and then like pull their shirt up over their back, You guys are saying gauze, but
Luca's searching for a blanket to cover you up.
En's looking closer.
it's quick, but they're basically just showing you got a tattoo.
Oh, a new one? Do we get to see it later?
Saltbeard? No, not at all.
No.
Well, no. That would make they have to take their shirt off.
We'll be living in close quarters for a while.
You'd be
Luca
surprised how
points at
much
Luca.
you can hide in close quarters.
Oh yes, I'm quite aware. I would like to see them, but I'll leave that to Willow's discretion.
Let it heal first.
No, I want to see it bloody and fresh.
Gross.
Luca makes a face like he's concerned about it.
Yeah.
En's like reclined with one foot up on the coffee table, kind of
Yeah.
Definitely concerned.
a little bit
How
of
long
a
does
shit
it take to
bastard.
heal?
We'll like idly talk about like how long they expect before they can show it to you guys proper, but it's just kind of small talky.
Mm.
Yeah.
There was like it was a brief like flash.
Mm.
And then like for lowering their shirt again. I think they've been like not wearing their jacket again, so they don't have the pressure on their back.
Mhm.
Well, I guess it's kind of draped up. Nah, it'll probably be chafy.
You'd
Yeah.
probably want it uncovered
Yeah.
as much as possible.
Well, it looks
I don't have
chunky
tattoos,
about
but Yasmin does, so
Yeah.
I know how this
Yeah.
goes.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. As light as possible.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, I picked a plant for the pot.
Oh, good.
Think you'll like it.
Is that a surprise
I
too?
trust you both. Pardon?
Is that a surprise too?
Yeah, let's keep it a surprise.
I look forward to both of your surprises then.
And
Do
you?
you have a surprise, Ben?
I was asking.
Yeah.
Well,
You have any
I was
surprises
gonna wait
for us?
for Willow and Luca to like go and come back, essentially. Like go and
Okay.
Mhm.
prepare.
Freshen up.
Yeah.
But yeah. But hey,
Bad.
that can be your foreshadow then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just
Do
gives
you
a
have
little
any-
shrug. It's
Oh,
back.
okay. And of course you have
I'm sure
secrets.
Will Ernie is full of surprises.
Mm.
Or
Naturally.
secrets. One of the same.
I'm going to go wash my face. I'm in pain. Willow's going to leave and like start like freshening up.
Why don't I get them a room ready?
Yeah. Savor it.
Willow's gonna bonk their little dogling on the way past. I think Fish Dog and Dogling have been like kind of hanging out.
Aw.
Fish dog teaching Dogling the ropes. Like, this is how you protect salvage.
Beep boop beep boop.
Yep.
Yeah. They've probably been doing laps
Yes.
outside, like stuff kind of whizzing back through.
Yeah.
I genuinely imagine the Dogling to be doing like scans of the
Yeah.
perimeter kind of being set.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
would
it's
set
like
Fish Dog
doing-
off to show. Yes. Hand
It's
over.
doing little patrols and because you've programmed in all of its like routes around the poppy, basically.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just imagining it like I keep thinking of Fallout, the game's Fallout, and when you walk into like certain areas where little robots are patrolling, sometimes you will be stopped and talked to by those robots, and I'm just imagining
Yeah.
like people from salvage coming into the poppy and like being stopped at the door for a little hello from the bot
Yeah.
before they're led on their way.
Yeah. Yeah. Almost exactly that sort of scenario.
So friend shaped.
Yeah.
Yeah. Deliberately so. It is so unthreatening.
So you don't know that it can electrocute you.
It doesn't actually
It
electrocute.
can throw pebbles at you.
Yeah.
It throws rocks.
It has a slingshot inside
And it can
of it.
scream.
Yeah.
Oh,
So it'll scream at you and throw rocks at a rapid pace.
Yeah, exactly.
Aw.
god.
Literally the image of little fish dog showing it around. It's so cute.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, the
Wobbly
fish
fins.
dog is, like, way more wobbly than the
Yeah.
dogling,
Yeah.
who's a little more stiff.
And sometimes the dog thing is like, understood. And well, fish dog is just beep booping. No
Yeah.
words.
Oh my god.
Yep.
Just vibes. Just little guys vibing.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I hate that we have to leave it. Well, I want it.
We'll make a new one. We can make another one.
Willow's gonna leave one at every significant location that you
Oh.
go to,
Absolutely.
basically.
Yeah, every new home we make will be marked by a dogling.
Yep.
I have a method.
Yeah. Maybe the next dogling we make will be a little fucked up, but that'll be suitable for Garnet, so.
We'll be like, to a small village and we're like, sorry, we leave you with this little like pocket rocket motherfucker.
Pocket rocket.
It does all the alarm stuff, but it also just randomly like says "fuck you" to people.
It also drinks blood.
Oh my god!
That's a little quirk.
That's a little more. That's a little more than we bargained for.
There's a Luca problem. Willow would unmake that one. I think this is part of like
We'll
our
break that
stupid shit
mechanism.
aspect.
Why did you make me?
Yeah.
This is what the sabotage is for.
Yeah.
Yep. Anyway, so you get ready for bed.
Yes. When Luca and Willow return back to the living room, the N isn't there, but there's a little paper left on the coffee table.
Mhm.
Oh, of course. Who gets there first?
Do you want to roll to see who perceives it first?
Yes.
Sure.
Go for it.
Perception. Disgrace.
Wow, you.
Oh.
Hey, Luca notices it.
Oh, is that yours?
The table?
No, the paper.
Oh, the nose.
Hmm.
No.
That wasn't there before.
Yeah.
No.
Race you to it. And just picks it up.
I'll poke over Luca's shoulder to look at it.
Yeah, it's just a small little note, and it says in slightly fancy handwriting, "Meet me in the garden."
Willow
Oh.
looks at Luca. Not another one of your riddles?
No. Mine tend to be a little bit stupider.
I could follow it. I'm just going to quickly just take a little cursory investigation check.
Mm-hmm.
Whose handwriting is this? Seems new.
Jesus Christ.
There's nothing amiss in the room, and as for the note, it's similar to what you've seen of N's cursive writing, but just a bit different.
Similar.
Willow gives a little smirk of intriguing. Something fancy is happening. Ends on there.
Shall we?
Yeah.
It's on
my
their
own
fancy
Willow.
boy mode.
Yeah. Ends feeling dramatic again. Willow, I don't know if Willow thinks that. They don't say it out loud.
Hmm. Shall I take thee to the garden?
Willow, maybe
Willow's gonna walk.
make another perception check, Willow.
Okay. Better.
Oh yeah. You hear a voice coming from the garden. Talking,
Not N's voice?
not N's voice. Different.
New.
New.
I think Willow's ears perk, straight up. And they kind of... they don't look to Luca, but they talk to Luca as they start drifting over towards the garden and say, I think we're about to meet somebody.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's so.
And as you two approach the door to the garden and push your way outside, there's a slender figure sitting at the bench in the garden, with a little book in his hands. Got long brown hair and braids down by his ears and up in a ponytail at the back of his head, long ears, and he is reciting poetry to himself. And you hear him speaking, "White lilies on a silver day, amid the ocean's swirling gray, blooms and fills and sails away, the worlds he's never known." And the figure slowly rises to stand. "Heave and haul into the mist, and vicious squalls they must resist, or lose her petals to the swell of that never-ending storm. Like winds they wail our weary crew, but watch as silver turns to blue, with verdant glades and pebbled blaze, gleaming gold by dawn. Where petals soar and colors fly, seaside where the sailors cry, she glides beneath a golden sky, weighed heavy by the morn. Where he was, he will not be, but where he is, he owes to thee. White lilies on an open sea, by shores that feel like home." And the young man closes the book, turns to look at the two of you. "White Lilies, by Tarek Elham. For all intents and purposes, he is now a survivor of the Snapdragons." The young man smiles to himself and shakes his head a bit. It's still something I struggle to wrap my mind around. For the longest time, I alone carried that title, and even then, only barely. Or how can you call someone a survivor if they did truly live? How are you two looking?
Who first?
You can see
Luca has
a
a gentle head tilt of curiosity.
I think you guys absolutely can see, because it illuminates a bit in the darkness, that this young man has N's very special eye.
Oh yeah, I know this is N. I know that's clearly N. They have the book. They have Tarek Ellen's book. Obviously, I didn't take it back after the ceremony. They're reading the poem that I didn't choose.
Butterflies, yep.
Yeah, thousand glass but and the poem that I said was too sad to read at the renaming, but in this context actually kind of
Kind of perfect, actually.
perfect. And like listening to, there was like okay, this is N, this is a new N, and I'm sort of like looking like elf ears, like your personality, like this is a different kind of personality, but then I think the words start like welling up in Willow's chest, like, oh my god, that's perfect for this. And in a way it's almost like more sweet than sad. It's the bittersweet aspect. Anyway, I think by the time you look at Willow, they look like stunned, but also when you pause, they're going to do the side glance at Luca, like, you seeing this? Like, little side glance to see how Luca's doing. Can we look at each other at the same time?
Yeah, I think we do.
Yeah, I think they're little like checking on each other, like, okay.
Luca has the 45-degree angle tilt of, huh?
Yeah, do I realize that it's N? Like,
Yeah, I mean, they have the eye.
yeah.
You've seen
But I don't know
Audrey,
what's
you've seen
happening
Kai, you just don't know
Yeah, I made
who
Audrey.
this
Like,
is.
yeah. So I'm just like, what's happening here?
Oh, well, by now both of you are well aware that N was not wearing their current face during the time of the Snapdragon incident. And yes, well, meet the stagehand in question. And Theo places a hand over his chest and does a little bow. My name is Theo, the sole survivor of the Snapdragon theater, specifically. Please believe me when I say it is a genuine pleasure to make your acquaintance. If it were not for both of your efforts, I would not be standing here.
Both Willow and Luca's heads, I just realized they're both doing the head tilt.
Yeah.
Are they doing it in the same direction or in opposite directions?
opposite?
I like opposite. Yeah.
I
We
think
vibe
though
so
when
hard.
when Thale introduces himself though, Willow will kind of like they were gonna like wipe their hands on their pants. I don't know why they're wearing gloves, but and sort of say Thale. Yes, nice to meet you. And offer their hand to him.
Thale kind of like perks a bit at the offer of a hand, but will close the distance and accept it with a light shake.
Pardon the insight check as I shake your hand to see what your vibe is.
Give me a moment not to contest that.
Is he noisy?
Oh, honey, because I was just.
Okay, we gotta here. Your boy's nervous, and I think with the nat 1, Willow feels he's shaking at that handshake. He's shaking. He's shivering.
Little jittery man.
He's kind of scared.
You know what? I've done it once before this episode anyway. Willow's going to close their other hand over your hand and then kind of lean in a little closer and say, but I think we've met before.
Oh?
Pretty much every day for the past few months. Half a year, even.
Ah, yes. Naturally.
Though as I understand, N doesn't seem to think of it that way. And I take it that you don't as well. Of course, otherwise you wouldn't have introduced yourself in this way with poetry and such. Nice read, by the way.
Thank you. It is slightly complex, yes, our arrangement, but I definitely see your point.
Yes, well, here's Luca. Willow's going to like pat Thale's hand and then like kind of hand you over to Luca to also have a handshake.
Thale will not offer his hand until Luca seems prepared to offer a hand.
I'm chucking the J-Lee. I'm putting Luca's hand in.
Okay.
You are joining hands. I've made it so. Or I've done the head jerk of like, he's nervous. Come over here.
Thale looks at the hands and back up at Luca.
Bows slightly over his hand, since Thale seems to be that sort of man.
Thale blinks a bit. Bows a bit in turn.
Willow's, while standing at the side, has just head tilted, noticing the braids. Noticed them on end too. And Willow suspects that's how long you've been around.
Something like that.
Well, that marked a point. Anyway, I'm just observing you and your long ears. You got pointy ass ears. Just in their head.
Big old elf ears.
Yeah.
All the better to hear secrets with.
They don't know about that.
Relatable. Go on, Roundy. Sorry.
What?
Roundy was to Luca because you're the only one here without pointy ears.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, does Luca say anything or does he just bow?
Kai was born about 5 years ago.
That's correct.
In your place?
In a sense, there was a transitional period of sorts. I had my unfortunate run-in in Sharn, and at that point, I never truly left the theater, you see. I was not born after the incident, and there was a transitional period wherein did not claim a particular face, and by the time they reached Stormreach, that was when Kai was born, to facilitate the particular goings-on that N had to embrace in that area. So you're sort of correct.
God.
A little bit, because while Thale's stuttering, I'm like, imagine in your peripherals you see Willow doing their appraisal loop.
No,
Just
that's
assessing
definitely Just definitely not helping, definitely adding to the stutter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vale feels that. Vale knows when he's being watched.
Yeah.
Do we know that N was at Stormreach? I can't remember.
Yeah, and did tell you
Yeah.
Okay.
during a debrief a few episodes ago.
Okay. Just making sure.
They went from Sharn to Stormreach. So
But Kai was born there, is what we just learned.
Yeah.
Which is
Yes.
not what I expected. Actually, I don't know what I expected, but knowing that Kai's from over there.
Kai's a product of Stormreach.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yikes. Says some awful things about Stormreach.
It sure does. Yep.
Yikes.
Stormreach is not necessarily a good place.
No.
Yeah,
It's not a nice
evidently.
place.
Which place in the world
Is-
inspired your no feeling Sona? Because yikes.
There you go. Yep.
Is this the thing that a friend did that you were struggling with?
What's Luca referring to? Sorry?
Ends the eye betrayal situation that Anne brought up.
Yes, that actually brings me to my main reason for appearing to both of you tonight. Vale takes a step back so he can look at both of you again. I will try not to take too much of your time because I simply wish to thank both of you. Vale moves from Luca back over to Willow and gets a bit in their personal space, touches at their jacket and kind of at Willow's jacket, and kind of smooths it out against Willow's shoulder.
My. Willow. I don't know if Willow's
Sorry.
wearing their jacket. Let's say they're wearing it over his shoulder. Like they've got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's say I'm wearing it just for the fun of it.
For the vibes.
Because I want you
The
to do
drama.
that. Like, because of that.
I'm suddenly wearing my coat, actually.
Willow's like, hold on a moment, puts on my coat. Do that again? Yeah, you get the Willow's like neck retreating, like their chin retreating into their neck a little bit as Thale gets closer than N's ever been, like comfortably,
Mm-hmm.
without threatening me.
He's adjusting your jacket a little bit, like he spotted something that was a little crooked about it, and he's fixing
Okay.
it. That's what the
Sure
touch is
thing.
like.
Fantastic. Carry on.
Willow Cordovan. The storybook wizard draped in the stunning colors of Ciri. The one who makes everything seem possible. You risked your own life to personally confront Mr. Bartosh, not only to assist N, but to save Mr. Elham and defend Regalport. But the investigation time while diverting attention from further victims. Your courage is remarkable. But I am well aware you did not escape unscathed. Your fierce independence in every regard is noted and respected. But if you ever wish to reach out to someone who may perhaps understand the experience of such an intrusion, I am here. Do not think it is a burden to speak to me. And thank you for everything you did, everything you risked, for your guidance leading in to Detective Madani, and for your awe-inspiring resourcefulness and wit. You pulled N from the darkness that would have consumed them, and for that I will remain eternally grateful. And I rest assured knowing your guiding hand will be upon N's shoulder as they continue their mission. And with a smile, Thale's hand retreats from Willow's shoulder, and he goes to turn to Luca.
Okay.
And in kind, he goes over to Luca and kind of starts adjusting
I
with
feel
his
like
collar.
we just see Willow, like, ears all the way back, like, jaw slightly dropped.
You see them like accordion
fur
fly
bristles
off screen.
with goosebumps.
Yeah, no, there's a, like, I think.
You good?
Thale just leaves you there.
No, literally, you just moved on. And Willow's like, what?
What do I do with this?
Actually, like, close their mouth and is like, oh, well, okay. I'm like, and just kind of stand there and look ahead and process that. every time Willow thought you were going to stop talking, you kept talking, and you said so many things. And they're like hot in the face. This reminds them of Willow Jenkins, You Changed My Life. But worse, because it's long, and you kept me here
long
and
and intense
with you.
with eye contact, with
And
meaningful eye contact and touching.
I thought you'd let go of my shoulder. I thought you'd left. You were holding me for the whole time?
Yep.
Willow's neck just all the way back for like that whole thing, and then you walk away and they're like, what? And there's staring into the middle distance now, just like, okay.
The cosmic event that is Thale.
I have to specify. It's
The
because
cosmic queer
I know your N. If this was a random person talking to me that wasn't N, that's different. But you're N. Those are N thoughts.
This is what N thinks of us.
The magnitude of all of that just settling on Willow's bristled fur as they just stand there while you go off to Luca. As if you didn't just rock my shit and now you're gone. Okay.
I'm just over here.
Yeah, okay.
I was like 5 feet to the left.
Yep.
So unceremonious. You were just going to continue. You shouldn't leave me like this.
Unless you had something to say.
No.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
That's fine then. I've said my piece. Yeah. So Thale goes to Luca now, and in kind reaches kind of to his collar and starts to adjust it. Luca Carnson, the shield at my back, N's knighted seeker, unwavering and bold. You have committed to join N in this most daunting fight against powers eldritch and unknown, desiring to not only quell evil but protect N's spirit in the process. You were kidnapped and hurt by Mr. Bartosz as well. Yet you've proven yourself to be a brave soul, even in the face of such terrible adversity. I admire your perseverance, your will to continue the fight and stand with N even after such a dreadful experience. I can think of no better guardian. In fact, though you may be the one among us least experienced in picking locks, and Thale gestures to Willow, I believe I have you especially to thank for my present existence. It was your words that led to my freedom. You asked the Eye to send End a message of self-love in a language they would understand. And I became that speaking tongue. A nightmare finally woken from, a survivor freed to live again. All because you reached out to us. Thank you. Thale places the palm of his hand against Luca's collar to flatten it out before stepping back in a way to observe both of you.
I don't think Luca will let you step away. I think he's going to hold onto Thale's hand a little bit.
Thale then will pause. You're up at Luca.
He's just thinking for the moment. You say a lot of things very quickly and then expect people to process them. And he kind of grins at Thale,
No.
expecting him to know what that means.
Thale chuckles a bit and smirks back at Luca. I understand we have a reputation.
I think you broke Willow.
Well, that was not unanticipated.
Pardon? No.
Is Willow saying this out loud?
Yes. If you guys said that out loud and I heard you, did I hear you?
Did
Yes.
you? Right here.
Right next to me. Yeah, okay, Willow says pardon out loud and... what did I say after that? Did I say excuse me?
Yeah. Excuse you.
Excuse me. Don't flatter yourself. Yes, I'm operational. What did you ask?
Nothing.
Ugh.
I'm glad to know Anne thinks so highly of us. And that you're here.
I am grateful as well.
Willow squints. How long have you been here?
Define here.
Willow looks flatly at you. Awake.
It must be a few months now. I awakened at some point during the investigation. And I've
Good
had
blinks.
sporadic awakenings ever since. All in secret, you understand. Clandestine meetings with the stars.
Willow squints. A few months ago, though, we were confined to the same room for like a month.
Yes,
how did
I snuck out.
Willow didn't say that out loud, but it just shows on their face like they're
Yeah.
putting the maths meaning together. Like, what? Huh? But
Huh? How did I not notice you? Sleepwalking.
You've not to worry. Your little fish dog was quite good company in
Fish-
lieu of you.
Willow clicks so that fish dog comes whizzing down from the roof where it's been chatting with the dogling. Beep, boop, boop, boop.
Yep.
Floats back down. Willow looks at it like they're scrutinizing it. Like, you knew Thale before me. Like that's the look on their face.
Mhm.
You didn't tell me. Like that
It
kind
just
of
recognizes Thale as N.
just like me.
Yeah.
Ugh. Willow like
Foiled by yourself.
damn, I'm the problem again. Okay. Yeah, well, Fish Dog is floating here now. Willow looks from Fish Dog to Thale like they know each other.
Thale smiles a bit at Willow, though his eyes dart away after a moment of kind of prolonged eye contact.
Mhm.
That's on you, man. If you gaze at me, I'm not gazing back. That's your
I get it.
prolonged eye contact.
Make a little vibe check on Theo.
That's
If he's willing. He's good.
I'd say,
I imagine he's calmed down now.
yeah, he's calmed down. Maybe he seems a little bit shy with that diversion of eyes, but he's not shaking anymore.
I think you can tell too, because Fish Dog doesn't go up to you. I think the
Yeah.
little donking Fish Dog on the head for being a traitor is all Willow says before they sigh, and they all look at Theo and say, "Must have been a rough few months."
I admit I spent a good portion of them asleep for that very reason. That's why you
Thinking
did
a
not
little,
see much of me.
Thinking a little bit, Willow will say, "I've no doubt you were also pivotal then. You said you were stuck in the theatre. Clearly you were unstuck from the theatre for 2 months at least, or a few months rather. Was it 2? A few? Either way, since the investigation. So, undoubtedly, the conclusion that we came to and the safety that everybody enjoyed was also your doing. Yes?"
Bale smiles a bit and ducks his head and peeks back up at the two of you. I would like to think so.
Well, rest assured it seems to be a fact. You, Kai, Audrey, whoever else is in there.
Yes.
Seems you all had a hand in this. So, back at you, I guess.
Bale smiles. Now,
Will we be seeing you more? Or is this a goodbye kind of thing?
certainly not. As
Not
I've
seen?
stated previously, I was more or less asleep for 5 years. I believe I have a little bit of catching up to do, so the whole point of me presenting myself today is so I do not surprise you in a confined space.
That would have been very comical.
It would have been funny.
I'll keep that in mind for next time. I cannot
Well, is-
say...
No, keep talking.
I cannot say when I will appear, though. As I've made it clear, you may call upon me if you wish to speak to me in particular. As you're no doubt aware, though we are the same person, and Kai, myself, Audrey, we do tap into different aspects of N, and At times, wearing these personas allows us to see clearer from different perspectives. So it's not uncalled for if you wish to speak to a different version of N from time to time.
Miller nods. They seem a bit more normal about you now, the more you talk. I mean, and say less like world-shattering things, then yeah, you're more normal
sure.
to talk to. And I think now, after giving you a big once-over, Willow will say, well, if you're not in a rush, I could go some tea. And glance at Luca.
I can make tea.
He sounds lovely.
Willow will lead the way back inside, to giving Thale a little gesture of follow.
Yeah. Vale pauses for a moment and peers up towards the sky, takes a deep breath of the cool night air, and then follows Willow and Luca.
We can meet each other proper. You can talk about stuff.
One thing Thale is gonna bring up specifically is like his awareness that we're going to visit the Silver Dancer and meet Tarek. You know, it's not at the forefront of importance on our list, but if I could meet Tarek, then I wouldn't complain. That would certainly be a reason for me to emerge. You know.
I don't have to insight check to know you're a fanboy about him, do I?
No, it's... He literally introduced himself by reading some of Tarek's poetry and saying that Tarek was the other survivor of the Snapdragons.
You have connected to this
Zero
man
guesses.
in so many levels.
0 guesses.
Might not be
This is
fanboy, but there's
significant.
certainly a significant feeling
Yeah,
there.
sorry. Fanboy was a joke, but yeah, you
Yes.
are... Yeah, there's a certain...
You were afflicted.
There's a
by
deep
Tarek
emotional connection there.
Yeah. Willow will nod. I don't see why we couldn't fit you into the equation.
Only if the opportunity arises.
Of course. Willow seems vaguely amused by Thale now. Because he's like...
A
he's
nerd.
like, he's... Willow's looking
He's a
at
nerd.
him talk. He's cute.
Oh,
N's cute
And
sometimes.
nice voice song.
Yeah, he's a choice. And I think in the background, though, I know... What do I know about your time at Snapdragon Theatre?
That it sucked.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how you got there. I don't know why you were there, but this is the version of you
Yep.
that was there.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm combining him
Don't
with
trust that at all.
with N's knowledge. I
This
think-
was the version of you that got kidnapped badly.
Yeah. No, it's
Kidnapped
interesting.
and tortured.
There's a lot of pieces kind of coming together because there's like, oh, he's very like shy and unassuming. He's very like sweet and theatrical and all of that. But then it's also like the penitent of N's dream speaker thing always sits in their mind. So it's just like an interesting like consideration of who he is. But ultimately, the takeaway is capital C, he's a cutie, actually. And I wonder how N feels about that. That they're being cute on main. How does that work?
Yeah.
Deliberate choice? Is N sitting in the background flustered by this? Is that like...
And sitting in the background like, oh, we let
he's
him out.
reading poetry! Oh! Look sideways at Kai like, yes, he's reading poetry.
This is your fault, Kai.
You let him out.
You let him out.
What good are you?
You had one job.
Anyway, so I think you wrap up your very pleasant evening having introduced yourself as another member of the Persona Collective
Yeah.
inside of
Yeah.
N. And are able to get a wonderful night's rest in the warmth and
I think-
comfort of the Nodding Poppy.
It's all right. Luca
Yes.
would spend the night in Elsa's room.
Yeah,
Well,
Yeah.
you cozy up.
Yeah.
Willow will say to Fail as they like as he goes to the room, like, say hi to the others for me.
If if they'll listen to me.
Willie gives you that look. Are they bullying you? Like a little eyebrow raise.
We have a complicated relationship.
No doubt.
Why, isn't it?
Dale just gives you both a smile and slinks off to his room.
Willie looks at Luca like, interesting. Like they didn't say anything. It's just like a look.
Luca would remember, but Sarah doesn't, and he starts reciting some of what Thale said about Willow to Willow.
Oh my god. Willow give you that little side smirk of like, haha, he's funny. Oh my god, no, you're not doing that. Good night, and immediately just like rolls their eyes and goes into the room. Closes the door firmly behind them.
It's like, absolutely not.
Yeah. You better forget that immediately. What if I learned modify memory? How
Please, God.
Oh, Willow in the room, like, he could have said that to me in private. He didn't need to say that in front of Luca. Now Luca knows. Now all of Luca knows.
Now all of Luca knows you're queer.
So, we'll move on to the next day.
Look at us setting sail today, man! Oh my god!
I don't want to go.
Oh.
It is the morning of the 11th of Larvion in Salvage. The ephemeral chaos is loaded up and made ready to sail. Varys Greenleaf arrives with a small sea chest of his belongings, and his family are there to bid him farewell. Jaylee Hazelwit has also arrived, along with Seeker Elsa and Seeker Torg, Bruno Saltbeard, Eka and Toa, all your friends from Salvage and beyond. It is a bright, beautiful day, a stiff breeze coming over the sea and blowing westward. There are hugs, there are handshakes, there are last-minute gifts and bits of advice and
Yeah, and gives
requests
also
for letters.
such a hug.
Some teary, some joyful, laughing. The air is filled with potential.
May I also say, ages ago, I brought a bottle of alcohol for Bruno Saltbeard, I think at the same time as I was buying alcohol for Aggie, Eelton.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure were.
Willow's gonna hand that to him, and there is an envelope with it.
He accepts it. Gratefully.
Willow parts with it with a little look. That would have to be one of the first letters they've written in years. I will link to it.
Are we gonna read it?
I'll leave it up to Zeke.
I'm gonna cry.
I think I'll read it as you're sailing.
Oh my god.
I was hoping you would. And gives Jaylee a hug before they get on the boat, like this time initiated by Anne.
Yeah. She hugs you back and squeezes your hands. Safe voyage!
Will do. You'll hear from me soon.
Luca has not let go of Seeker Elsa's hand.
Yeah, she is holding tight, ruffling your hair. We'll meet again someday soon. It's a
Very
promise.
soon.
The Greenleaf family is all waving Uncle Varys off. And it's like, bye, Uncle Varys! Bye, Uncle Varys!
The kids, so cute.
Willow's doing the rounds. Eka. Also, like, all of them.
Yeah.
Everyone at the dock. Every
Yeah.
single person at the dock. People keep clapping them
Yeah.
on the back and they're like, ow!
Yeah.
Wait.
I can imagine Anne with Elsa, like they do a little almost run and hop and cling onto her
Yeah.
shoulders, kind of,
Yeah.
because they're short.
Yeah. Yeah.
But just like And then muffled into her collar, just thank you.
I think Seeker also gives you a kiss on the forehead. Squeezes you tight. Most welcome.
Big squeezes.
Yeah. You will make your way onto the ship?
Oh, God.
Eris unmoors the ropes. Ready to make sail, Captain?
I think the last little handshake Willow gives is to Bruno before they step onto the boat, standing at the bow. Aye aye. And Willow signals. Time to go.
Anchors away. Sails unfurled. You set off from salvage. Towards the horizon. Towards Corvair and new adventures. You're all heading home. One way or another. As you depart, the ephemeral chaos disappearing onto the horizon until she is just a sail on the sea. Bruno finally opens the letter that Willow handed to him.
Actually, before the letter, I'm going to ask you guys something, the team, real quick. I think Willow's going to tell that we're all kind of choked up on the deck and say they're going to pull out their crossbow and they're approaching you guys. What do you want to say? Final words. Up to 10. Come on.
Yeah, you're just dropping this on.
See you later. Until next time, fair winds.
Take care and fair winds.
And we'll see you soon.
Take care and fair winds. We'll see you soon. Perfect. Willow's going to write that on a little note, roll it up, and tuck it into the crossbow and fire it into the sky and cast the skywrite.
The words appear writ large in a flash of smoky white clouds. Take care and fair winds. We will see you soon.
It's dope as hell.
Yeah. And I think while looking...
Skywriter.
Yeah, right? While looking up at that, the letter says, if I may,
Yes, please.
Dear Bruno, said I wouldn't leave you with another lousy letter, so I've added some alcohol to sweeten the deal. Better than moldy bread in my bedside table, yes? I've been known to mince words, so let me be blunt. You're the reason I've lasted this long. You're the reason the others could find me. You're the reason we're going home, though that betrays the fact that Salvage has been a home to me too, unconditionally since first I wandered to these shores and every time thereafter. The irrefutable truth of the matter is that I would not have survived if not for Bruno Saltbeard. And Salvage. And the rest is fate, I believe. Whatever the case may be, I owe that to you. I will take you and Salvage with me on every step of our journey. Until we meet again, Willow Cordovan and the crew of the Ephemeral Chaos.